Hi, my name is Marc Schmitt. I'm the CEO of Evertracker and one of the co-founders of Innopitch. And I warmly welcome you to the first event. It covers the topic of supply chain and logistics. And we founded the initiative together with Christine Schmitt, Edoro Okpako, and Vasily Milosevic, because we believe that despite COVID-19, we should enable young companies to engage with corporations and investors. And so we started this initiative, Innopitch, under the motto, Innovation Goes Digital. And we have, as I believe, a very exciting program today. We start with a 40 minutes panel discussion. This will be in German. Christine, who will be the moderator, will introduce our panel discutants in a bit. This will be followed by 10 startup pitches. Each of the startups have 5 minutes to pitch. And then after the pitch, there are 3 minutes for question and answers. And the questions you will see down below the video, you will have the possibility to ask questions. So please, during the pitches, ask questions to the startups. I will then read them out and the startup will answer them live. We have some startups that will also pitch live, and we have some startups that will be presented by video. And after the startup pitches, there will be a 20 minutes Q&A session with also exciting guests like Simone Rohde. She's the leader of ecosystem and platform of consumer industries at IBM. We have Harald Kolbe, head of digital innovation and digital transformation at Lufthansa Technik Logistik Services. Olaf Rathgeb, the CTO of Meyer Sohn. And Martin Schwarz, investment manager at Genius Venture Capital. And Christine will then again be the moderator of this session. We all ask you to be very active and ask questions as much as you can, because this will make our event very lively. And especially during the Q&A session, there can be asked questions also to our guests. Otherwise, what I need to say is that we will record the session, so it will be then also available afterwards, which is not necessarily relevant to the audience, as we are not you, but everyone that is in this session will be. Sorry. Yes, I need to. Sorry. Now I'm back again. I had somebody in the room that was not supposed to be here already. So that is basically what I can say. I'm very proud of what Christine, Edora, and Vasily have put together in the last couple of weeks. We have a lot of really great supporters. We have a lot of associations that are supporting us and companies that are sponsoring us. And I must say that we have an exciting group of startups that are presenting today. And thank you very much for all of you joining, for all of you that are in the discussion. And I now give it to Christine that she can start.
Ja, herzlich willkommen. Ich bin Christine und ich freue mich sehr, dass wir jetzt mit unserer Panel-Diskussion beginnen. Wir haben heute zu Gast eine Vertreterin aus der Politik, die ehemalige Bundeswirtschaftsministerin, die auch 7 Jahre lang Bundesjustizministerin war. Heute ist sie Beraterin. Herzlich willkommen, Brigitte Zypries.
Hallo, Christine.
Hallihallo. Außerdem haben wir noch einen Vertreter aus der Wirtschaft. Er ist der Vorstandsvorsitzende von Rhenus Logistik. Rhenus Logistik zählt zu den führenden europäischen Logistikdienstleistern. Das Unternehmen hatte 2019 einen Umsatz von 5,5 Milliarden Euro und beschäftigt weltweit über 33.000 Mitarbeiter in 750 Standorten. Schön, dass du da bist, Klemens Rethmann.
Hallo.
Hallihallo. Und dann haben wir auch noch einen Vertreter von den Investoren zu Gast. Er war Spieler und Börsenmakler. Er hat selber schon erfolgreich gegründet und war Mitbegründer von 3 United, die mit 55 Millionen Euro übernommen worden sind. 2011 begründete er Speedinvest und arbeitet dort seither als Partner. Herzlich willkommen, Daniel Keiper-Knorr.
Hallo, servus.
Hallo. Ja, und zu guter Letzt haben wir noch einen Vertreter der Startups. Er ist der CEO des Software-Startups Evertracker und Evertracker versucht mithilfe von künstlicher Intelligenz Supply Chains transparent, kontrollierbar und vorhersagbar zu machen. Außerdem ist er Mitglied der Logistikweisen, wie auch Clemens Rethmann. Und er ist mein Mann. Schön, dass ich dich in unserer Küche begrüßen kann. Hallo, Marc Schmitt.
Hallo.
Hallo. Für euch zur Info, ich werde einige oder alle duzen, weil wir schon vorab einige Vorgespräche hatten. Nicht, dass sich die Zuhörer hier wundern. Ich fange mit dir an, Brigitte. Und zwar hatten wir das große Glück, dich schon im Interview zu haben bei Innopitch. Und da hatten wir besprochen, wie man denn trotz der Corona-Krise weiterhin Innovation betreiben kann. Und deine Antwort war damals Digitalisierung. Nun ist es ja aber gerade so, dass es in Deutschland Mittelständler gibt und die haben jetzt nicht die Chance, einen Innovation Manager oder so anzuheuern. Wie kann man als Mittelständler wissen, was das Problem im eigenen Unternehmen ist, wo man digitalisieren muss und wie es denn dann klappen soll?
Ja, also der Ansatz war, dass man die Krise nutzt und die Zeit, die man dadurch gegebenenfalls hat, um das Thema Digitalisierung voranzubringen, weil ich gedacht habe, es macht irgendwie wenig Sinn, die Zeit einfach nur zu vergalern und nichts Gescheites damit zu machen. Wie kann man sich informieren? Es gibt natürlich ganz viele unterschiedliche Wege. Der klassische ist wahrscheinlich, dass man eine Beratungsgesellschaft nimmt, muss man aber gar nicht. Man kann sich auch anderweitig informieren. Es gibt beispielsweise von der Bundesregierung eingerichtet in der letzten Legislaturperiode 25 Kompetenzzentren, digitale Kompetenzzentren, in denen man sich informieren kann. Da kann man zu unterschiedlichen Themen hingehen und kann die ganz konkrete Frage stellen. Ich habe ein Unternehmen, einen Mittelständler mit, 50 Beschäftigten. Wir stellen Schrauben her, wir vertreiben die da und dort. Was kann ich tun? Was muss ich vergegenwärtigen? Wie ist es mit dem 3D-Druck in Metall beispielsweise? Wer macht da schon was in Deutschland? Was gibt es schon? Wo kann ich mich da schlau machen? Und wenn einem diese Informationspunkte, diese Digital Hubs nichts nützen, nicht helfen, dann gibt es auch noch eine Karte über ganz Deutschland, die wir gefertigt haben und wo diejenigen, die schon Industrie 4.0 Digitalisierung anwenden, tatsächlich im tagesaktuellen Betrieb, drauf sind, die sich bereit erklärt haben, anderen zu zeigen, was sie machen. Ja, da kann man also gucken, wo ist in meiner Nähe ein Unternehmen, was macht und kann sich mit denen in Verbindung setzen. Es gibt darüber hinaus natürlich alle möglichen Online-Plattformen, auf denen man sich generell erstmal informieren kann über Digitalisierung. Ist ja immer so eine Frage, wo fängt man an? Also in welchem Stand ist man, was braucht man? Die Industrie- und Handelskammern bieten alles Mögliche an. Das ist auch immer ein guter Anlaufpunkt, um sich erstmal so einen gewissen Überblick zu verschaffen, ehe man dann dazu kommt, ein bisschen konkreter zu werden. Und selbstverständlich ist es auch immer eine gute Idee, nach Startups zu gucken, die in so einem ähnlichen Bereich was machen und zu schauen, was machen die, wie fangen die das an? Denn das war ja immer das, was mein Credo war. Ich habe immer gesagt, wenn jemand 30 Jahre damit zugebracht hat, ein bestimmtes Teil noch besser zu machen, also Stichwort beispielsweise der normale Ottomotor, immer noch besser, noch besser, noch besser, dann kommt er eben nicht so leicht auf die Idee zu sagen, jetzt nehme ich mal so einen Elektroantrieb und ein bisschen Internet und baue ein neues Auto. Das ist dann das, was andere gemacht haben erstmal. Und deswegen ist es ganz gut, auch in anderen Branchen zu gucken, was machen die Startups, mit was beschäftigen die sich, was kann ich davon lernen, kann ich vielleicht was mit denen zusammen auch machen.
Ja, vielen Dank. Clemens, bevor ich dich gleich frage, ob du Innovation in deinem Unternehmen betreibst und mit welchen Mitteln, würde ich gerne erst einmal von dir wissen, wie du bei Rhenus Logistics in die Krise gekommen bist.
Ja, durch die Krise weiß ich gar nicht, ob man da durch sein kann, weil irgendwo sind wir mittendrin. Und ja, also wir sind als Rhenus Logistik sehr divers aufgestellt in unterschiedlichen Geschäftsfeldern. Und wenn wir für einen führenden deutschen Automobilhersteller bisher Dienst leisten durften, dann bedeutet das, dass die Mitarbeiter, die wir dort beschäftigt haben, heute nichts zu tun haben. So, das heißt, da passiert gar nichts. Wenn ich bis vor 6 Wochen sehr stolz drauf war, im Bereich Spedition, Landverkehrsspedition unter den Marktführern in Richtung Spanien und Italien zu sein, dann hat sich das angesichts der Zustände in den Ländern dort auch deutlich relativiert, mein Stolz über diese Thematik. Auf der anderen Seite bin ich aber auch froh und glücklich für ein großes schwedisches Möbelhaus, das hier mit diesen komischen Hörnern da oben drauf hier für die Dienstleistungen zu erbringen. Und nachdem alle, die im Homeoffice sind, sich jetzt unheimlich darüber freuen, dass sie endlich den Dachboden aufräumen, brauchen die alle Billigregale. Und die fahren wir jetzt durch die Gegend. Da haben wir also einen mächtigen Schub bekommen. Also von daher muss ich sagen, sehr unterschiedlich, aber in der Summe ist das schon eine herausfordernde Situation. Aber das ist dann halt die Situation, wo wir als Familienunternehmen die Chance haben, auf Reserven auf der einen Seite zurückgreifen zu können. Wir haben das Geld, was von Arbeitnehmern und Arbeitgebern in der Arbeitslosenversicherung angespart wurde und nun für Kurzarbeit eingesetzt werden kann als wunderbares Instrument in Deutschland. Ich bin ja deutlich älter als du, von daher erinnere ich mich also aktiv auch an Krisen wie 2008, 2009. Und da muss ich sagen, die Erfahrung, die wir heute haben, zeigt, dass dieses Instrument der Kurzarbeit auch in sehr vielen anderen europäischen Ländern genutzt wird und kopiert wurde. Da haben wir, glaube ich, alle was von. Und von daher kommen wir halbwegs gesittet über diese Situation hinaus. Aber sie ist je nach Geschäftsfeld, in dem wir unterwegs sind, schon sehr unterschiedlich.
Ja, es klingt vor allem sehr herausfordernd und es klingt danach, als könntest du dich gerade überhaupt nicht mit Innovationsthemen beschäftigen. Oder doch?
Ich sag mal, Innovation zeichnet sich dadurch aus, wenn man jetzt hier zusehen will, dass seine Leute gesund bleiben oder dass wir für den Fall, dass welche krank werden, weiter leistungsfähig sind. Das, was an Homeoffice möglich ist und was ich jetzt in den letzten Wochen und Monaten hier erlebe, ist natürlich etwas ganz anderes als das, was ich hier in der ganzen Zeit vorher hier für möglich gehalten habe. Das ist also schon eine klasse Entwicklung, die wir dort haben. Das ist das, was wir dort erleben. So, dann haben wir natürlich die Situation, wenn jetzt die Betriebe stillstehen und wir uns Gedanken machen müssen, wie fahren wir die wieder an? Ja, Entschuldigung, du unterbrichst mich, wenn ich jetzt zu sehr an Schwafeln komme, aber Digitalisierung ist ja für mich ein Prozess und da steht zu Anfang so etwas wie Standardisierung. Danach muss man den Prozess aufnehmen, die Prozessanalyse machen. Dann geht es in die Automatisierung. So, und jetzt machen wir uns alle Gedanken darüber, wie wir einen heute stillstehenden Betrieb in 2, 3 oder was weiß ich, wie viele Wochen wieder hochfahren lassen. Aber das ist natürlich, es ist eine wunderbare Gelegenheit, sich klar darüber zu werden, in welchem Prozess arbeiten wir überhaupt. Und das ist die Grundlage für jede Digitalisierung, dass man sich gefragt hat, was passiert. Frau Zypries hat das gerade so schön gesagt, man ist in der Situation, dass man über Jahre, Jahrzehnte, Dekaden ein und dasselbe macht in klassischen Industrien. Und jetzt haben wir dadurch, dass wir das Ding wieder hochfahren, auch nochmal jetzt die Möglichkeit, ganz anders darüber nachzudenken, was tun wir da, um darüber die Digitalisierung eigentlich zu starten.
Aber das bedeutet, also so wie du sprichst, klingt es nicht nach Starten der Digitalisierung, sondern die Prozessanalyse und so weiter, damit bist du ja allerbestens vertraut. Das heißt, dich erwischt Corona wahrscheinlich eher in einem Prozess des längst Digitalisierens, sodass du jetzt das auch nochmal besser vorantreiben kannst, was sich als erfolgreich herauskristallisiert.
Ich sträub mich ja, dein Mann kennt das viel besser bei mir, diese ewige Diskussion. Ich sträub mich ja gegen dieses Wort Digitalisieren, weil die Digitalisierung ist das Ende eines verdammt langen, mühseligen Prozesses, Und 4/5 von diesem Prozess, der die Digitalisierung zum Ziel hat, ist verdammt harte, altmodische Arbeit, sehr viel mit Blut, Schweiß und Tränen. Wenn ich hingehe und Prozesse erstmal aufnehme und feststelle, dass ein und derselbe Schlosser eine Tätigkeit unterschiedlich macht, wenn ich nun anfangen will zu digitalisieren, muss ich die dazu bringen, dass die in der gleichmäßigen Reihenfolge ihre Themen tun. Das ist sehr mühselig und das hat die Digitalisierung hinterher zum Ziel. Aber die Standardisierung und die Ist-Aufnahme, die Prozessanalyse, da sind wir drin und da ist jetzt natürlich Corona eine wunderbare Möglichkeit, da deutlich mehr Speed aufzunehmen.
Ja, Daniel, du hast gerade so genickt. Das bedeutet, gerade Stichwort Blut, Schweiß und Tränen, was der Klemens erzählt hat, scheint dir durchaus bekannt zu sein. Wen findest du denn innovativer? Start-ups oder klassische Unternehmen, wie das zum Beispiel Rhenus Logistik ist?
Das ist eine gute Frage. Ich glaube ehrlich gesagt nicht, dass man das wirklich fair vergleichen könnte.
Richtig.
Die Startups haben das Privileg, mit einem weißen Blatt Papier anfangen zu können. Etablierte Unternehmen mit Geschichte, mit Struktur, mit Prozessen, die funktionieren, die auch prä- und post-Covid, Corona funktionieren werden, haben da durchaus Legacy mitzuschleppen, aber durchaus auch eine Verantwortung für diese Legacy, weil dies war immerhin das, was sie an den Status quo gebracht hat, der ja bei den erfolgreichen Unternehmen kein schlechter ist, soll keineswegs eine Umgehung der Pflicht sein, sich ständig neu zu hinterfragen, aber man muss nicht jede Hinterfragestellung auch immer mit einer neuen Antwort beantworten.
Mhm. Wie ist es denn dir als Investor jetzt in der Corona-Krise ergangen? Eigentlich leben Investoren ja von Zugängen, Kontakten und auch von solchen Konferenzen wie der NOAA in Berlin. Was hast du gemacht, als du die ganze Zeit im Homeoffice sitzen musstest?
Es war natürlich bei uns die letzten 10 Wochen und also für die Zuseher und Zuhörer, wir sind hier in Wien. Ich beschließe morgen die 11. Woche im Homeoffice. Friseur habe ich auch schon länger nicht mehr gesehen. Da lasse ich jetzt auch anderen Leuten den Vortritt dort. Die haben es dringender nötig. Wie haben die letzten Wochen ausgesehen? Also ich kann mich sehr gut erinnern. Es war der 2. März. Es wird, Verzeihung, wenn das jetzt ein bisschen anekdotisch wird, aber es ist sehr bildgebend. Der 2. März hatte ich eine Dienstreise nach Zürich. Das war ein Montag. Ich bin in der Früh hingeflogen mit der Frühmaschine 6.50 Uhr ab Wien. Ich bin gesessen 36F in einem Airbus 320. Ja, die Maschine war gedroschen voll bis auf den letzten Platz. Der Rückflug am Abend 19.50 Uhr, da waren wir weniger Passagiere als Flugbegleiter. Also an diesem einen Tag hat sich das wohl komplett gedreht. Die Maschine kam an in Wien eine Viertelstunde vor der Zeit, auf der kurzen Strecke Zürich-Wien. Eine Viertelstunde vor Flugplan. Ich schaue rauf auf die Anzeigetafel, 90% der Maschinen an dem Abend eine Viertel bis halbe Stunde vor Flugplan. Da sieht man mal, also was da wirklich in dem ganzen Groundhandling dahinter steckt und wie viel Zeit man da, ich bin selbst kein Logistiker, aber ich beginne Einblicke zu gewinnen, was da drin steckt. Ja, das war wohl der Tag, an dem, und unmittelbar danach haben wir uns ins Homeoffice verpflanzt. Dann kam der Lockdown-Erlass am Freitag, den 13., auch sehr bezeichnend, mit Wirkung Montag, 16. Brauche ich euch nicht sagen, wie es am Samstag, den 14. noch in den Baumärkten zuging.
Mhm.
Und seither zu Hause war natürlich, wir haben ein Portfolio von über 150 Firmen in den verschiedenen Fonds, die wir verwalten. Da gab es 150 Mal Budget neu rechnen.
Ja, genau.
Unter intensivster Einbindung von unserem Investment Manager Team, die also Gottlob, und da halten wir eine recht große Mannschaft mit 80 Leuten, die in Relation zu unserem Fondsvermögen für viele absurd groß erscheinen mag, hat sich aber jetzt ausgezahlt, weil wir jetzt Betreuungsqualität bieten konnten, die möglicherweise nicht jeder andere auch in dem Umfang hatte. Pardon, wir sind jetzt durch mit der Budgetrevision. Die Auswirkungen freilich In Summe natürlich kurzfristig mal netto negativ. So eine gesamtwirtschaftliche, behördlich verordnete Vollbremsung, das geht an niemandem spurlos vorüber. So natürlich auch nicht an uns. Aber was wir schon sehen, ist, dass sich jetzt schon sehr, sehr klar herausstellt, wer die wirklich guten Unternehmer, was die wirklich robusten Produkte und was die wirklich aussichtsreichen Märkte sind.
Bevor ich dich gleich frage, ob es noch frisches Geld von eurer Seite geben kann, will ich einmal kurz unterbrechen. Brigitte Zypries hatte uns gerade nicht mehr hören können. Geht das jetzt wieder? Ja, super, Brigitte, prima. Du musst, glaube ich, dich noch entmuten, weil wir hören dich jetzt nicht mehr. Marc, kannst du da netterweise unterstützen? Vielen Dank. Genau, Daniel, das wollte ich dich nämlich auch gerne fragen. Wie geht Speedinvest jetzt mit Investments um? Gibt es denn überhaupt gerade noch frisches Geld für Investments oder wird der Fonds auf die Investitionen, die ihr bereits habt, neu umverteilt?
Ja, das ist natürlich eine sehr zentrale Diskussion in unserer Industrie in den letzten 10 Wochen gewesen. Man muss da ein bisschen differenzierter drauf schauen. Fondsmanager sind nicht uneingeschränkt, können nicht uneingeschränkt verfügen über das Kapital, das in den verschiedenen Fonds gebunden liegt. Wir haben, ja, es mag eine glückliche Fügung sein, wir haben am 25. Februar diesen Jahres auf der Super Return in Berlin unseren neuen großen Fonds mit über 190 Millionen Volumen an die Öffentlichkeit gebracht, der quasi also in den Lockdown hineingestartet ist. Der hat jetzt 190 Millionen für neue Investments. Der alte Fonds aus dem Jahr 2015, der jetzt 5 Jahre alt ist, der ist in Wahrheit am Ende seiner Investitionsperiode, also am Ende der Zeit angekommen, in der er neue Investments tätigt, und das noch vorhandene Kapital ist an sich dem Bestandsportfolio ohnehin schon zugesprochen gewesen. Also wenn man da immer sagt, die Fondsmanager konzentrieren sich aufs Portfolio und machen keine neuen Investments, das stimmt so nur bedingt. Es ist in Europa und gerade auch in Deutschland im Q1 2020 enorm viel Venture-Kapital vorgestellt worden. Lakestar rausgekommen mit einem 800 Mio-Fonds, glaube ich, wir mit guten 190, Target Global, North Zone, Dawn Capital, also in Europa. Natürlich, das ist alles Folgewirkung aus den vergangenen sehr gut gelaufenen Jahren, aber das Geld ist jetzt mal da. Ja. Und das muss auch investiert werden. Unser Mandat schreibt es uns vor, innerhalb der nächsten 4 Jahre ein Portfolio aufzubauen.
Ja, wenn du jetzt an Investment denkst, hat sich dein Blick auf sinnvolle Investitionen geändert durch diese Corona-Krise?
Also.
Zum Beispiel, bist du jetzt mehr an Logistik-Startups interessiert, die ja zur Logistik gehören, die neuerdings als systemrelevant eingestuft wird?
Ich hoffe, dass nicht nur wir, sondern die ganze Industrie überwiegend sinnvolle Investments tätigt. Logistik war für uns schon länger Thema. Das ist also nicht erst seit 13. März irgendwie wichtig geworden. Ich weiß nicht, ihr habt es vielleicht verfolgt. Wir hatten in der Corona-Lockdown-Zeit unser Investment in Schüttflix der Öffentlichkeit vorgestellt. Marktplatz für Schüttgutlogistik, wo also Baustellen ihren Sand, Kies, Schotter und Ähnliches beschaffen können. Fantastisches Unternehmen, bodenständigst aus Gütersloh, von Unternehmern gebaut und als radikalen Gegenentwurf zu dem klischeehaften Start-up-Gründer. Hat uns von Anfang an sehr gut gefallen, haben an dem Deal lange gearbeitet, auch schon im letzten Jahr begonnen, aber Logistik war für uns schon immer wichtig. Wir haben ja seit 2,5 Jahren jetzt einen speziellen Industriefonds im Markt, da ein Thema unter anderem eben auch die Logistik ist. Lieferkettenüberwachung, haben in ein Unternehmen investiert namens Prewave, das die Nachrichtenlage überwacht, um mögliche Unterbrechungen oder bevorstehende Unterbrechungen der Lieferketten global frühzeitig anzeigen zu können. Er freut sich jetzt natürlich auch sich überschlagender Nachfrage. Ja. Und auf einmal werden Dinge klar und wichtig, die es eigentlich immer wichtig hätten sein sollen.
Ja.
Und das ist für mich ein bisschen das Bizarre an der jetzigen Situation, dass man erst unter Schmerzen draufkommt, was wirklich wichtig ist. Ja.
Ja, das hast du gut formuliert. Das ist tatsächlich so. Clemens, du bist ja auch jemand, der Lieferketten managt und daher gerne transparent hätte. Investiert ihr denn überhaupt in Startups oder macht ihr das gar nicht?
Ja, nein. In eurem Sinne investieren wir nicht in Startups.
Ja.
Was wir machen, wir laden unsere Mitarbeiter ein, sich zu neuen Geschäftsideen zu committen. Sie können bei uns über eine interne Plattform, können Sie die Themen vorstellen. Und wenn das dann was ist, was dann ans Fliegen kommt, dann gründen wir da eine Firma raus, die also tatsächlich wie ein Startup arbeitet, die sich dann wie ein Startup positioniert. Und dann schauen wir mal, was es gibt. Wir haben dort ein sehr spannendes Unternehmen, heißt dann Regreen. Da geht es dann um Luftfrachttransporte mit minimalem Impact hier im Bereich der CO2-Emissionen. Oder aber wir haben anderes Unternehmen Russok, was also hier von unseren russischen Mitarbeitern gegründet wurde, mit der Zielsetzung, digitale Luftfrachtspedition zu sein, speziell für die Erfordernisse des russischen Marktes, angefangen von der dort etwas anderen Zollsituation über die Quotation, die dann dort ganz anders erfolgen muss und tatsächlich die Nachlauffrachten eine andere Bedeutung. So, also das sind dann Themen, die wir dann dort auch machen.
Ja.
Aber dass wir rumgehen und sagen, so, ja, haben wir jetzt hier vorne ein strategisches Töpfchen von 15 oder was weiß ich, wie viele Millionen, mit denen wir uns dann als Minderheitsgesellschafter an Themen beteiligen, um dann mal zu gucken, was davon fliegt. Das machen wir nicht.
Ja, Brigitte, wenn du das so hörst, eigene Plattform im eigenen Unternehmen, Mitarbeiter, die die Kapazität, das Wissen und die Muße haben, etwas selber einzubringen. Ein Mittelständler kann das ja gar nicht leisten, auch wenn er sich gut informieren kann. Muss vielleicht nicht die Bundesregierung mehr Geld zur Verfügung stellen, damit der deutsche Mittelstand sich besser digitalisieren kann? Könnt ihr Brigitte hören?
Ich glaube,
leider gar nicht.
Gemutet.
Gemutet jetzt? Marc, kannst du sie vielleicht entmuten? Würde das gehen? Marc kann ich leider auch gar nicht hören.
Also sie ist nicht gemutet, aber ich kann sie auch nicht entmuten.
Oh. Dann müssen wir vielleicht das Mikrofon lauter stellen. Das geht leider auch nicht. Wir versuchen es technisch in den Griff zu bekommen.
Nee, leider nicht.
Es geht nicht? Brigitte, es tut mir sehr, sehr leid. Ich kann es leider nicht verbessern von diesem Computer aus.
Müsste sie sich noch einmal anmelden?
Neu einloggen nochmal, das wäre doch eine Möglichkeit. In der Zwischenzeit stelle ich hoffe, Brigitte kommt gleich zurück. Da, ich sehe sie schon. Wir stellen die Frage kurz zurück. In der Zwischenzeit frage ich einmal ganz kurz Marc. Brigitte, ich frage dich gleich nochmal, wie für euch als Start-up denn die Krise war. Wie hast du das empfunden?
Also grundsätzlich natürlich haben wir die Krise auch gemerkt. Also gerade wir sind natürlich sehr im B2B-Umfeld unterwegs, haben Kunden, die also auch viel aus der Automobilindustrie, die sehr viele Dinge erstmal hinten anstellen. Also Digitalisierungsprojekte, neue Projekte, Innovationsprojekte finden jetzt nicht mehr statt. Also bis man sein normales Geschäft wieder am Laufen hat. Da helfen natürlich Instrumente, wie das, was wir anbieten. Nur wenn man es vorher nicht eingesetzt hat, dann bringt es einem jetzt natürlich auch wenig. Und eine Implementierungsphase für die jetzige Zeit zu machen, ist eher unmöglich mit den Leuten im Homeoffice. Sodass wir es natürlich schon deutlich sehen. Auf der anderen Seite sehen wir auch den positiven Effekt, dass viele Leute durch diese durch das Zuhause sitzen und eigentlich nicht wissen, was in der Kette passiert. Gerade diese Digitalisierungsthemen für unsere Kundengruppe immer interessanter wird.
Mhm.
Also so, dass wir einen sehr guten Ausblick haben, jetzt natürlich irgendwie auch betroffen sind durch weniger neue Projekte, aber dafür sind aber auch die Projekte, die wir jetzt haben, fliegen besser als noch vor der Krise.
Ja, bevor ich dich deine nächste Frage stelle, würde ich gerne nochmal versuchen, ob Brigitte uns jetzt antworten kann, ob das Mikrofon jetzt funktioniert. Leider immer noch nicht. Das tut mir sehr leid. Marc, kannst du das irgendwie regeln lassen von Vassili oder Edore?
Ich glaube, Edore guckt gerade mal.
Okay, alles klar. Dann, du hattest einmal gesagt, dass dass es dir gar nicht so sehr darum mehr geht, noch mehr Maßnahmenpakete für Startups auf die Beine zu stellen, dass das, was derzeit von der Regierung angeboten wird, dir durchaus hilft. Wie kommst du darauf? Denn viele Startups verlangen ja gerade jetzt nach noch mehr Förderung.
Ja, also da habe ich natürlich irgendwie meine eigene Meinung dazu und ich finde, dass grundsätzlich ist es mal so, dass wir bei so einer Krise, wie sie jetzt stattfindet, wir uns darauf konzentrieren müssen, dass wirklich systemrelevante oder gesellschaftsrelevante Unternehmen oder Personen gestützt werden müssen. Dazu zählen in erster Linie Restaurants oder auch traditionelle Logistiker, also die wirklich Arbeitsplätze haben, Arbeitsplätze schaffen. Und wenn dort ein ganzer Industriezweig kaputt geht, dann haben wir nochmal ein ganz anderes Problem. Ich finde, dass für die Startups schon sehr viel getan wird. Man hat auch die Möglichkeit, Kurzarbeit anzumelden, Fördermittel zu bekommen. Und ich finde, dass man sich grundsätzlich als Unternehmer auf eine Krise vorbereiten muss. Das heißt, man muss immer wissen, dass ich lange genug durchhalte. Also wenn auch etwas passiert, weil das passiert, also da muss nicht eine Krise kommen, sondern kann auch was anderes passieren. Und jetzt nach noch mehr Geld zu bitten, finde ich schwierig. Was ich finde, ist, dass man mehr oder bessere Investmentvehikel von der Regierung aufsetzen müsste für eher die Zeit nach Corona. Also dass es attraktiver wird zu investieren.
Ja, wie könnten die aussehen, deiner Meinung nach?
Also ich finde, dass die Regierung mit diesem Matching-Fonds, den sie jetzt gerade aufgesetzt hat, dass man, wenn man einen privaten Investor hat, diese Summe dann sich nochmal gegenmatchen kann über den KfW Capital als Fondsbeteiligten. Sowas finde ich gut, aber dass man auch Steuerentlastungen bietet, dass man also für Investoren, für Business Angel, dass man Unternehmen ermutigt, mehr in Unternehmen investieren zu können, dass man auch Rahmenbedingungen wie schafft, dass man Mitarbeiter besser beteiligen kann an Unternehmen, wichtige Mitarbeiter. Also es gibt viele Dinge, die passieren sollten. In erster Linie müsste es attraktiver werden, wenn man ein Risikokapital gibt, dass man im Verlust davon nicht nur negative Dinge bekommt.
Ja, bevor ich gleich Daniel nochmal fragen möchte, wie er glaubt, dass man Startups vielleicht ganzheitlich nach der Krise fördern könnte, würde ich gerne noch einmal versuchen, ob Edore das mit dem Mikrofon von Brigitte hinbekommen hat. Glaubst du, das klappt?
Wir konnten nichts machen. Ich vermute, es liegt an der Seite von Brigitte. Vielleicht kann sie eine andere Browser versuchen, wenn sie eine andere Browser auf dem Laptop hat.
Okay, dann warten wir gleich darauf, dass Brigitte sich netterweise noch einmal zu uns begibt. Und Daniel, was glaubst du denn, was kann man außerhalb von Investments tun, damit Startups langfristiger, nachhaltiger gefördert werden können?
Riesenfrage, ja. Ich finde es erstmal schon mal gut, dass die Startups in diesem ganzen Trubel jetzt nicht vergessen geraten. Sie sollten genauso gleich behandelt werden wie alle anderen Wirtschaftszweige. Heißt auch, dass sie nicht notwendigerweise eine Vorzugsbehandlung brauchen. Wie man die nachhaltig fördern kann für die Zeit danach. Mit kurzfristiger Wirkung sehe ich eigentlich nur Kapitalfreisetzung in der Gesellschaft. Es gibt in Österreich und in Deutschland wahrscheinlich auch viel zu wenig Eigenkapital im Markt, das wirklich produktiv arbeitet. Da gibt es vielleicht ein paar Ungleichheiten zu bereinigen zwischen der steuerlichen Behandlung von Immobilienbesitz und Unternehmensanteilenbesitz. Da gibt es ein paar Dinge, die Abermilliarden, die auf unproduktiven Sparheften rumliegen. Es sind in Österreich, glaube ich, 270 Milliarden Euro. Es muss in Deutschland das 10-fache sein. Das muss an die 3 Trillionen gehen, das unproduktiv herumliegt und jedes Jahr realen Wertverlust erlebt. Das Kapital muss freigesetzt werden. Das ist das, was per Verordnung ginge, wenn der Wille da wäre. Und das würde einen Schub auslösen, dass uns in Europa und vor allen Dingen, also jetzt nehme ich mal die eigenkapitalfreundlicheren Länder wie England, Großbritannien, Niederlande, Skandinavien aus, aber das Kontinentaleuropa einen Riesenschritt nach vorne machen könnte. Alles andere, was man wirklich nachhaltig tun könnte, hat ewig lange Wirkungszeiträume. Ja? Die Bildung, die ist der Schlüssel zu allem.
Mhm.
Da gibt es enorm viel aufzuholen, glaube ich.
Du meinst bei der Ausbildung hin zum digitalen Wissen, wie man...
erstens einmal digitale Lebenstauglichkeit. Ja, damit beginnt es ja schon mal. Aber tatsächlich auch, wie richten wir die Bildung aus am Vorabend des über uns Hereinbrechens der künstlichen Intelligenz?
Mhm.
Ja? Das ist eine Riesenfrage und die wird sich erst in 20 bis 25 Jahren auswirken. Wenn wir den Zug jetzt verpassen, dann wird es ganz, ganz finster.
Also du meinst, dass das, was schon öfter gefordert wurde, dass es mehr Digitalunterricht in den Schulen gibt und dass die Lehrer dafür auch geschult werden, dass den Kindern...
Ja, natürlich. Man sieht ja jetzt, dass es geht. Also die vergangenen 10 Wochen, die waren der große globale A/B-Test für digitale Arbeits- und Lebensweisen.
Mhm. Wobei das alle arbeiten und das an Zoom-Konferenzen teilnehmen ja nicht unbedingt schon Digitalisierung bedeutet. Das ist ja vielleicht nicht...
Das ist schon richtig. Das ist Einsatz von digitalen Werkzeugen, um effizienter zu arbeiten. Das ist nicht zwingend, das ist ein Aspekt von digitaler Transformation, aber sicherlich nicht der Kern.
Ja, also es gibt noch...
Der Klemens gesagt, das ist vollkommen richtig. Es geht erstmal darum, die eigenen Prozesse und Abläufe wirklich zu verstehen, weil ich kann nur digitalisieren, wenn ich davor normalisiert und harmonisiert habe. Und alles andere ist Kreativität. Das ist auch wichtig, ist aber nicht digitalisierbar. Zumindest nicht in dem allerersten Schritt der Digitalisierung.
Genau, und wenn vor allem auch der Mittelstand digitalisieren kann, der Mittelstand, der ja in Deutschland fast 70% der Unternehmen ausmacht. Und jetzt versuche ich nochmal, Brigitte, die Frage nach dem Mittelstand zu stellen, ob sie...
Ja. Kannst du mich jetzt hören?
Jetzt höre ich dich super, das ist toll. Prima. Ob es denn bei all den Bemühungen, die Klemens bei sich im Unternehmen anstrengen kann, ob es für den Mittelstand nicht noch mehr Geld von der Bundesregierung geben muss, um ihn zu unterstützen?
Ja, mehr Geld kann man immer sagen oder kann man immer fordern. Ich glaube, die Bundesregierung tut schon eine ganze Menge, um gerade den Mittelstand beim Thema Digitalisierung zu unterstützen. Ich denke auch, dass es nicht so sinnvoll unbedingt ist, jedem Unternehmen eigenes Geld zu geben, sondern dass es sinnvoller ist, das zu machen, was ich vorhin erzählt habe, dass die Bundesregierung solche Kompetenzzentren eingerichtet hat, eine Plattform eingerichtet hat, auf der man sich informieren kann und wo die Sachen gebündelt werden, wo man zusammenkommt, damit nicht jeder seinen eigenen Berater finanziert. Ich glaube nicht, dass einen das sehr weiterbringt. Also von daher denke ich, das Thema im Mittelstand ist nicht so sehr das Geld, sondern das Thema ist eher das Interesse. Vor Corona war es so, dass man sagen musste, die Auftragsbücher waren alle gut gefüllt und so ein normales mittelständisches Unternehmen, ich weiß nicht, das könnt ihr ja auch mal erzählen, jemand, der verheiratet ist, vielleicht 2 Kinder hat, mal zum Sport gehen will, sich nochmal mit Freunden treffen will, 60 Stunden die Woche arbeitet, ein bisschen organisiert, wie er seine nächsten Fachkräfte einstellen kann und so weiter und so fort, der hat dann kaum noch Zeit, sich um die Zukunft zu kümmern. Und deswegen haben wir immer gesagt, also da muss man eigentlich ansetzen, man muss irgendwie attraktive Angebote machen, um die Leute auch zu motivieren, dass sie sich damit auseinandersetzen und dass sie sich darum kümmern. Das war unser Versuch, daran zu gehen, weil wir, wie gesagt, nicht so sehr geglaubt haben, dass es am Geld liegt, sondern eher geglaubt haben, dass es daran liegt, dass keine Zeit ist. Jetzt ist Zeit, leider muss man sagen, aber jetzt ist mehr Zeit bei vielen. wenigstens bei all denen, die durch die Krise betroffen sind ja nicht alle betroffen. Und jetzt könnten sie die Zeit nutzen, das zu tun. Und für manche Industrien muss man ja ehrlicherweise sagen, also die Automobilindustrie gehört da sicherlich dazu, verschärft die Krise halt auch nochmal die Probleme, die ohnehin bestanden. Ne? Das ist so ein bisschen so ein Brandbeschleuniger also in der Automobilindustrie. Und andere Bereiche kommen natürlich erst durch das Virus in die Krise, wie die Luftfahrtindustrie oder so.
Ja. Klemens, wie siehst du die Zukunft der Innovation bei euch im Unternehmen?
Mir gefiel der Gedanke von Daniel sehr gut zu sagen, wir brauchen so ein Stückchen hier digitale Grundkenntnisse und das ist tatsächlich hier die Krise eine Chance. Beginnen wir bei den Lehrern, die jetzt hier tatsächlich lernen müssen, wie kann ich in dieser Phase mit den Schülern kommunizieren. Meine Frau ist Berufsschullehrerin, von daher habe ich dort eine ganze Menge erlebt, was geht und das funktioniert klasse. So, wir haben eine Situation, dass die Kneipe, die jetzt hier in einer Situation ist, dass sie keine Gäste empfangen kann, die fängt jetzt an, über einen Internetauftritt nachzudenken, den es vorher nie gab und da aktuell die Speisekarte reinzusetzen. So, und die Schlaueren, die verstehen jetzt, ich muss irgendein Tool haben, denn es ist doof, wenn ich dort jemanden wieder sitzen habe mit dem Telefon. Wenn ich mir überlege, was wir für eine Diskussion in Deutschland vor, ich glaube, 10, 12 Wochen hatten, als es darum ging, dass wir gesagt haben, bitteschön, hier Kassenbons in den Bäckereien einzuführen. So, wo gesagt wurde, ja, es geht also nur so 2,50 € auf den Tisch und danach kommen die Brötchen rüber. Jetzt fangen wir plötzlich alle an und bezahlen in der Bäckerei mit einer EC-Karte und jetzt machen wir das sogar so, dass wir die oben drauflegen. Ich glaube, dass diese Krise, die wir zurzeit haben, tatsächlich ein unheimlicher Beschleuniger sein kann für alles das, was Digitalisierung angeht. Und alles das, was ich jetzt gerade an sehr dummen oder sehr praktischen Beispielen aus dem ganz normalen Lebensalltag erzählt habe, das ist natürlich das Gleiche, was nun bei uns passiert. Dass wir natürlich zum einen merken, wie viel müssen wir eigentlich reisen. Dass wir auf der anderen Seite feststellen, so, was passiert da mit unseren Verkäufern? Unser Verkäufer, der war ja bis vor 3 Monaten, war ja ein gern gesehener Gast bei unseren Kunden. Dafür ist er da mit dem Auto hingefahren, mit dem Flugzeug dahin geflogen, hat dann dort was erzählt, hat 2 Termine, wenn es hochkam, am Tag hintereinander gekriegt. Und er sitzt da jetzt und arbeitet im Videochat mit den Kunden und kriegt 5 oder 10 Besuche oder Gespräche hintereinander. Der merkt plötzlich, ich muss mich ganz anders darauf vorbereiten. Wir kriegen einen Schub rein, dass auch die Verkäufer, die in den letzten Dekaden oder in der letzten Dekade immer gesagt haben, es bleibt alles, wie es ist, die verstehen jetzt mit dem Vorschlaghammer ins Gesicht, Entschuldigung, dass ich das so brutal sage, aber die kriegen das mit dieser Methode gerade beigebracht, dass die Welt sich ändert. Ja. Da kommt ein Beschleuniger auf für alle Prozesse im Unternehmen, vom Verkauf über den Einkauf, über die Materialbestellung, all diese Themen.
Ja. Marc, noch mal eine kurze.
Ja, da kann ich allerdings jetzt einmal dazwischen, weil wir natürlich, also man muss, wie Christine das ja auch schon versucht hat anzudeuten, das Problem gerade in der Logistik ist ja aber nicht, wie verkaufe ich digital mehr, das hättet ihr schon vor 5 Jahren mal einführen können bei Rhenus. In der Logistik und wir müssen das ja ganzheitlich denken, es geht um Nachhaltigkeit und es geht um gesteigerte Effizienzen. Das funktioniert nur, wenn man seine Prozesse digitalisiert und zwar seine operativen Prozesse, mit denen man am Ende des Tages Geld verdient, also das Transportieren einer Ware von A nach B. Dort muss man digitalisieren, dort muss man einsteigen und angreifen. Ich glaube, Klemens war raus.
Klemens ist raus. Darf ich bitten, noch einen kurzen letzten Satz zu formulieren zur Digitalisierung? Wir müssen nämlich gleich zum Ende leider schon kommen.
Genau, deswegen sollte sich die Logistik damit beschäftigen, ihre Prozesse zu digitalisieren und nicht so sehr versuchen, ihren Vertrieb jetzt über Zoom oder Hangouts stattfinden zu lassen. Das sehe ich bis heute noch nicht.
Okay, Daniel, darf ich dich auch noch um einen kurzen letzten Satz bitten zur Einschätzung? Für dich ist, glaube ich, die Corona-Krise auch ein Beschleuniger der Digitalisierung und vor allem des Verteilens des privaten Geldes, wenn ich das richtig verstehe.
Ja, also Beschleuniger von schon in Gang gesetzten Prozessen ist es definitiv. Ja, also ich sehe das so, es finden jetzt Veränderungen statt, längst notwendige Veränderungen, die unter Gutwetterbedingungen 5 Jahre gedauert hätten. Das dauert jetzt 5 bis 15 Monate.
Okay.
Es wird einfach bewiesen, dass manche Dinge gehen. Ja, ich sehe meine Eltern online Essen bestellen, die beiden 75-Jährigen. Ja, ich mache das immer an so anekdotischen Beobachtungen im Alltag fest. Ich sitze jetzt hier seit 11 Wochen im Homeoffice, schaue auf dieselbe Straße hinunter, der Postbackelfahrer kommt jeden Tag. Die müssen mittlerweile, also UPS, Post, GLS und alle anderen, die müssen mittlerweile von Sixt Lieferwagen anmieten, weil ihnen die Kapazitäten ausgehen.
Ja, Brigitte, noch eine kurze Einschätzung von dir. Die Corona-Krise als Beschleuniger der Innovation, siehst du das auch so?
Ich hoffe, es wird so sein. Also in Teilen, was eben gesagt wurde über Digitalisierung in der Gesellschaft, denke ich, ja, da ist es auf alle Fälle ein Beschleuniger. Dass es in der Industrie und bei der Frage von Industrie 4.0 auch ein Beschleuniger ist, das kann ich nur hoffen. Also da wünsche ich mir sehr, dass nicht nur in Deutschland, sondern in ganz Europa die Unternehmen sich in dieser Zeit damit auseinandersetzen, wie können wir unser Unternehmen fitter machen für das Thema Industrie 4.0, wie können wir das verbessern, wie können wir unsere Beschäftigten da besser fortbilden, dass man dafür vielleicht auch die Kurzarbeit nutzt, um sowas zu machen und Ähnliches mehr. Also das würde ich mir sehr wünschen, weil ich glaube, was zu dem reinen Gebrauch gesagt wurde, das ist ja alles okay,
ja.
Aber ist ja noch keine Innovation in dem Sinne.
Ja, herzlichen Dank für diese Einschätzung. Ich danke ganz herzlich allen Panel-Teilnehmern, Brigitte Zypries, Daniel Keiper-Knorr, Klemens Rethmann und Marc Schmitt. Und ich möchte noch einmal betonen, dass alle Innopitch-Supporterinnen und Supporter das ehrenamtlich machen. Deswegen ganz lieben Dank für eure Zeit und euren Einsatz und eure Mühe. Vielen Dank. And now I hand over to Marc, because the startup pitches are going to start right now and we are all very excited. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining the panel discussion. You can stay here. You can also leave. We, of course, wish that you stay because this is, of course, the most important ones of today are the startups. So the first startup will be Cogniac. They are from the US. I'm saying this because I'm hoping that they are joining now, but I already sent them, I will send them also a message in parallel so that they can start and log on. For the how it works, so I will tell everyone again. So we have 10 startups. They're from all over the world. We have a lot from Germany, but also US and Israel, for example. And they will have a 5 minutes time to pitch. And after the 5 minutes, there will be a 3 minutes Q&A. You can now start to ask questions below the video that you see. So there should be a chat window available in a couple of seconds. And basically, so you should start as questions, and you can, and I will read them out and I will answer them. And maybe you have questions to the pitch deck. Maybe it's not fully clear. Maybe it's not fully clear what they are offering, or you want to just challenge them. Go ahead. And I need to say that these startups were selected by our jury. So company experts actually selected the startups out of a huge bunch of startups that applied. So these startups seem to be relevant for the logistics industry. And the first startup that will present will be Cogniac from the US. I think they will have a video, and I hope they're already on so that they can then also follow their discussion. So we could start.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alyssa Browning, and I am the Solutions Engineer at Cogniac Corporation. First, I want to thank you for inviting us to participate in today's event. I hope you see value in our solution to serve you in the future. Cogniac is a software platform utilizing the latest in artificial intelligence and deep machine learning to automate any visual inspection task. Industries are still very much involved in manual inspection, which can be tedious, error-prone, or dangerous. If this sounds similar to the environment that you are trying to automate, or if you have an existing computer or camera vision system that is rejecting good parts or having escapes in a manufacturing setting, missing safety and security needs, or not classifying your assets, then we may have a good solution for you. Our platform is designed to put the power of convolutional neural networks and deep machine learning technology into the hands of your domain experts. What this means is if the people that you have hired to do these inspections can see what they need to identify in an image, they can train the system to find it for them each and every time without subjectivity. The biggest differentiator with our software is that we only require a few hundred images before our software begins to perform and give real-time predictions on its own. Historical machine learning requires millions of images, data scientists to label those images, and then create the code to identify what those images or defects are. We eliminate this completely and take care of the algorithms through our IP in the background. All the user would need to do is help identify and label 100 or so images, and the model will take over from there. If we look at this manufacturing defects use case and teach the system by example today, we would get some meaningful results by tonight. All I would ask of your subject matter expert is to load 20 defect-free images and label 100 defects that you are interested in detecting. This can be a ding, a dent, a scratch, maybe even a missing tooth. With this limited amount of data, our system is still able to provide high model performances based on the IP around our supervisory human-in-the-loop interface. Our system will populate a queue of images for your subject matter expert to review and provide feedback on the model predictions. Our system is continuously learning and training models in the background. You can see here over 6,500 models have been trained, but only 84 models with better hyperparameters have been released and deployed into this visual inspection task. We are deployed in many different industries, including high-speed core manufacturing, QA/QC, we're big with transportation, OEMs, tier 1s, and especially rail, logistics, warehouse management with OCR applications, pharmaceutical and food packaging, as well as safety compliance and other risk-preventing measures. Our customers are working with large amounts of data, some processing 5, even 10 million images a month, so scaling is not an issue for us. We have a full API for easy integration and are camera agnostic. We can integrate with any existing hardware as previously mentioned, or provide professional services for image acquisition. Since we are a vision company, I wanted to show various use cases and examples here to help you start thinking where Cogniac could serve you. This customer is identifying and classifying assets, as well as detecting horizontal and vertical IDs for OCR applications. Track and wheel inspection are key for reducing derailments in the rail industry. This customer reported that Cogniac prevented 20 derailments just this year. Other manufacturing use cases include end-of-line inspection for verifying bill of materials, and a unique tool of Cogniac showcased here, orientation-agnostic OCR. Warehouse management use cases include pallet identification through vision, verifying USDA compliance, SKU identification, and serial numbers. Identifying and inspecting assets at gate terminals for ship-to-shore and ship-to-rail industries. The automotive industry is one of our largest in manufacturing due to the push in Industry 4.0. This use case is specifically looking for splits and stamped parts. We also inspect leather goods for wrinkles, scars, or tears. We have a customer classifying and counting over 2,500 SKUs in their kitting line inspections. Non-destructive X-ray imagery, inspecting soldering defects or areas that can short. Infrastructure and corrosion detection utilizing drone imagery. And of course, during this pandemic, we are verifying personal protective equipment and the compliance of wearing masks while returning back to work to ensure employee safety. I hope this gave you a good flavor of what Cogniac is capable of. Please let me know if there are any specific visual inspection tasks you are interested in automating today. Thank you. Hello all, can you guys hear me? My name is Alyssa Browning. Hello. Hello all, can you guys hear me? My name is Alyssa.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Hello all, can you guys hear me? My name.
Perfect. Sorry, I need to mute the video so that I can read the questions. Thank you for your pitch and thank you for your participation in our Innopitch event today. We have 5 questions from the audience that I will read, and then you can answer them hopefully very, very well. Yes. So the first question is, you are probably dependent on data from customers. Is it hard to convince customers to give you the data, and how do you convince them?
No, it is not hard to convince them. Usually they have a challenge that they are trying to find a solution for. So what I said earlier was, with their existing software, they may already have archive data. In that case, we can just ingest that into our system, load it onto the cloud, and do our processing in real time. If they don't have maybe some images, if they need some integrators' help, we can partner with their integrators, or with our own vision team. We have a vision team that we can provide professional services for.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, how does your customer needs to provide the images? Is there an integration necessary?
Right, so we have a full API for easy integration. We could work with their integration partners. This can be over the cloud. You can upload through a web app, but typically we'll use an edge flow for the low latency edge computing device. This can give you real-time inspections in just milliseconds.
Thank you. Next question is, do you also provide the hardware like camera?
We do have a vision team, so if you do not have integration partners, we can have a professional service based on with our system, with our integrators, and have look at your environment, see what kind of lighting you need. Maybe it's high resolution cameras, maybe you need multiple cameras. We have one deployment that has 25 cameras firing all at the same time to inspect one part.
Perfect. Another question, do you already have customers in Europe?
Yes, we do. Some automotive customers, tier 1s, and some OEMs.
Good. And what is your licensing model for the product?
Yeah, so we're a SaaS model. So you can have one platform for your entire company. Because we're cloud-based, to build and create the models online, you can deploy this very easily anywhere in the world. So again, that low latency real-time detection can come from that edge computing device, a piece of hardware we can supply to you, and that can be your factory in the US and your factory in Germany, right? So really easy deployment options, either in the cloud or on-premise if you have security needs.
Perfect. Last question from my side. What are you looking for today? Can we help you with anything? Is any supporter attractive to use that you would like to get in contact with? That is your chance now to speak to them if they're online, or we can make an introduction.
Yes, I mean, we are really here to serve you guys. So if there's any visual inspection task that you have today that you are doing manually or is tedious or error prone, right? We have been adopted into many customers' environments that are having rejecting good parts or maybe having escapes, right? Or with manual inspection, it's quite difficult to look at various use cases that may look similar. Maybe it's parts inspection. Our core kind of key industries are manufacturing. Obviously, that comes with a lot of data, and we're data hungry. So I think anyone interested in automating visual inspection, I'm your girl.
Thank you very much. We will share your contact details if you're interested also with our group. This applies to all the startups. Thank you very much. I don't know if anyone else has a question. That doesn't look like. So I would suggest that we move over to Transmetrics. One of the startups that Evertracker and Transmetrics know each other for a very long time. And I'm happy that, I don't know who's joining. I think Anna wanted to join. Yeah, I see it here. Hi. Not sure if you're playing a video or if you're pitching live.
Yes, it will be the video recording from the founder of the company, Asparuch, and then I will be happy to answer any of your questions.
Perfect. So Vasily will start the video and then...
Welcome. My name is Asparuch and I'm the CEO of Transmetrics. And Transmetrics is doing predictive optimization for logistic service providers. Today, transporters are finding it very hard to match supply and demand because of fluctuations in shipping demand throughout the year. There is always a lot of empty capacity which remains unused but costs a lot of money. Transmetrics helps transporters to solve that problem by predicting short-term demand and providing the right recipe to right size the capacity. It helps companies to be much more agile, take out unneeded capacity, and have savings as high as 10% on typically multi-million budgets. And this is not a theory. Transmetrics is actually used by quite a few of the large logistics service providers out there. So we have here an enterprise product which has enough depth and power to satisfy even the large enterprise customer. So what it does is it provides augmented intelligence for transport planners. Unlike artificial intelligence, which aims to replace the planner with software, augmented intelligence leaves the planner in its seat, but gives them the correct tools to consider all available data in their decision, to do simulations, to look at all possible options in order to take the most optimal decision for the company every time. And this comes in two flavors. One flavor is Netmetrics, which is for large transport networks, and it helps to optimize specifically the line hauls between hubs and warehouses in order to achieve the optimal fuel rate every time and to reduce empty space inside the trailer. The second product is Assetmetrics. This is about optimizing the fleets of assets. We started with optimizing fleets of empty containers, which are usually sitting unused in many locations around the world, but it could also be applied for trailers, for trucks, for wagons, and for any other types of expensive assets which have to move around. The software works by integrating very close with the transport management system. It takes data from it, which goes through a data cleansing and improvement. Then it goes through a business optimization model, and finally it goes through a demand forecast and a predictive optimization in order to provide the correct and tailored plan for each day of the year, depending on different factors which change day to day. In order to develop software like that, you need to have really deep cargo transport knowledge, and that's what we have. We are really very knowledgeable and committed to the logistics service provider market, and we also have technical excellence in both data science and also in enterprise software product capabilities. We have a team of over 30 people with a lot of depth in all these areas. We have actually raised almost 5 million of funding so far, 3.2 million of private funding and 1.67 million of Horizon grant, which makes us extremely stable and funded through the end of next year, which is good in terms of the current pandemic. But also we are open to raising more money in case there's any investors in the crowd. We are happy to talk to you. Let us know. So this is Transmetrics. It's predictive optimization for logistics service providers. Thank you very much for your attention, and my colleague Anna will take your questions. For your attention, and my colleague Harald will take your question.
So we have 4 questions, 5 questions, a lot of questions today. So, first question: where do you get the data from?
My colleague Harald will take your question.
So we have 4 questions, 5 questions, a lot of questions today. So, first question: where do you get the data from?
My colleague Harald will take your question.
So we have 4 questions, 5 questions.
Okay, now the echo stopped. I can answer. So the first question is where we are getting our data from. Was it correct?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, we take the data from our customers, from their existing operational systems like TMS or any other systems where they keep the information about the shipments, the volumes, the scheduling. And we also use the external factors, which can help us to do the proper forecasting. So we are using external factors like weather forecast, like weekdays, like holidays, like industry trends, and some, of course, customer-specific waves, for example, like peaks in certain weekdays, etc., etc.
Okay, thank you. And how do you deal with different data qualities, and how's your experience of the willingness to share data?
First of all, the willingness to share data is fine. We are certified for all types of data security, so our customers trust us with their data, and we have many big names in our portfolio like DHL, DB Schenker, etc., who are sharing our data. What is important to understand, the data which we are asking for is not sensitive, so it's not financial data. It's the data about the volumes and about the shipment moves. The only thing which we would need, it's not even the name of the customer, but kind of industry specifications, what type of industry is, in order to understand some industry's behavior, which helps us to forecast more accurately. And yes, the quality of the data is a big issue. I think this is the norm for the industry to have a poor quality data. But we claim that we're experts on data quality improvement, and we proved it with many of our customers that we take their data, and by applying our artificial intelligence algorithms, we improve the data significantly to the level of being actionable and being properly adjusted to make a forecast with this data, with improved data quality.
Perfect. We have only time for one question. How long does it take to onboard a customer?
Usually the longest process is for the data quality improvement. It typically takes us between 2 to 4 months, depending on the size of the customer. Let's say on the bigger end, customers like Kuhn and Nagel, it would be 4 months. And we had customers like Gebruderweiss, where it takes like, let's say 1 month. Yes, so between 2 to 4 months.
Okay, thank you very much. Anna, thank you, and say hello to everyone of your team.
Thank you.
So we move over to the next startup, which is how.nfm. I don't know, I think they will pitch live. Hopefully they are already here. They are, so they can now share their screen and start pitching.
Great. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay, perfect. And just sharing my screen.
So I start the timer and let you know as soon as it's over.
Okay. Great. Hello, everyone. I hope you can now see my screen as well. You should be able to see a few slides.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yes, we are HowFM, and we're a team of 11 and growing, based in Cologne, Germany. And we started in 2018 with the intention of really diving deep into blue-collar work in logistics. And we interviewed a lot of customers, and what we learned from them was often like that they are regularly onboarding and training workers that can have many reasons. For example, we see especially like in warehousing and e-commerce, fulfillment, lots of turnover, temp work, also because of peak seasons, and then potentially ramp ups where you have to kind of open a new warehouse in a very short amount of time and train a lot of people at once. And then, of course, always the customer changes in contract logistics. The product might change, and thus also the procedures. And another observation that we made was that there were lots of growing language barriers, especially with worker migration throughout Europe, and then temp workers also coming from various places, speaking various languages. And then sometimes it's not too easy to train people, especially when they don't speak the same language as the trainers or experienced workers on site. So what we build together with our customers is what we call a digital trainer, which is a software platform that allows you to easily document your work procedures, but also all kinds of other video-like training material. And then on the other end, we have like mobile device-based, usually iOS and Android apps that allow our customers then to have their workers train themselves, and this also in very different languages. So what is our focus? It is both on health and safety instructions, for example, in German Unterweisungen, and it's also about manual skills development. That could be procedures that you have in place, for example, in your warehouse operations. You might need to pack certain goods. And so we're covering both policies as well as standards, and that is often known in the context of ISO 45001 or ISO 9001. So this would be basically what we're at. And like our customers use it also to increase productivity and ramp-up times, but we also see quality improvement across the board. And for example, Ingram Micro is using our product to help workers really settle in their first days on the job and also learn the manual skills needed to process goods, for example, returns. And one little fun fact, during our participation in the Startpod program, we also had a visit from Walter Steinmeier, and he was also able to process goods based on the instructions that HFM provided. And for the last minutes, I would just probably share with you how it really looks like. So let me share my screen here and show you the application window. So what we do is we take basically a list of text and a list of media files that can be small video clips, that can be also maybe just a few photos or illustrations. And then on the other end of a worker, it looks like that. And I'm stopping the screen share again. And you should be able to see my face now. And so here, for example, is an Android-based application. And when I start that very work procedure here, then it sounds like that.
Andreas, fold up a cardboard box. When you are ready, just say ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Place the filler at the bottom of the box. I'll wait until you tell me to keep going.
Hold on a second. I think I need to finish this here.
All right. Just let me know when you are done.
Okay, next step then.
Place the ordered goods into the box.
Okay, I can also interface with like using my finger on a regular touch screen, and I can also use that in different languages. For example, very popular in warehousing might be Russian or Polish, and that's how it looks like and sounds like.
Perfect. Unfortunately, I need to interrupt you because the 5 minutes are over, but I think it was very impressive to see that it actually works, which is not always the case for startups. So it was a good demonstration.
Cool.
So I think we have some questions. I hope I don't get the echo again. So we have a question. a lot of questions. How accurate is the translation? So you need to be fast and answer fast.
Sure. Yeah, like as we know, it's not perfect. We were told it's better than Google Translate at the moment, but actually when it's mission critical procedures, we often have like professional translators go through them and correct wherever there are mistakes. And also we train for company specific wordings and try to protect them from translations, for example. So there is a little bit of service involved sometimes.
Perfect. So that answers also one question, which was the machine that you're using Google Translate, I guess. How is the acceptance by the employees and users?
Surprisingly good, as in like due to the voice interface, you don't have to take off your gloves, for example. You also don't need to learn an interface, but you can just talk to it also in a rather informal language, saying next, or even I'm done here, whatever, please go on or something. So that is probably like something that helps us, that is well received. Also, workers can work and learn in their own like tempo, and so that is also even better than the usual experience sometimes is with traditional training. So yeah.
Okay. Can you please describe your business model and how does it scale?
So that's a SaaS product, and like as I said, like we often help like with the very first content creation our customers, but at the moment a couple are already using it like on their own. So it's really easy to create content, update content, and so we actually just charge a platform license that then includes different configurations, what you have just seen. And that allows our customers then to train. Yeah.
Perfect. Can your customers or the users interact with trainers?
Yes, usually we do integrate into an existing training process that can be very hands-on and very small, as in a couple of hours only, where usually workers are touring the warehouse, getting familiar with the exits and everything that they need to know. And then usually the trainer are responsible for introducing them to HowFM as well. And what it enables the trainers to do is just train more workers at the same time and offload kind of repetitive training activities. So it is also really well received among trainers, which are usually also often people that are involved in the day-to-day operations, and sometimes in peak seasons even help actually with delivering services. So training is just one of their jobs.
Perfect, thank you. So the Q&A for you is over. We will share the questions with you afterwards, and this is applicable to all startups. You can answer them, and then we will share with the audience, because there are still some questions open. And you probably also have already a customer or at least somebody that would like to interact with you, which is also applicable to all startups and supporters. If you want to meet one of the startups or you startups, if you want to meet somebody, let us know. In this case, Harald Kolbe would like to get in contact with you. We will share his details with you after the pitch session. So wonderful. Maybe you already brought a customer.
Thanks very much.
We get the provision for this.
Of course.
Anyhow, so thank you very much. We will now have the next startup, which is MotionMiners. I also know MotionMiners very well, and I'm happy that they're also joining. We already tested it, so the technical part at least works. You also have 5 minutes. You will present live, and it starts now.
Perfect. Thanks for the introduction. My name is Sasha from MotionMiners, and today I'm going to tell you something about motion mining. This is where we usually use motion mining on the shop floor of logistics, and we solve the problem that many important key performance indicators are hidden here on the shop floor and must be collected manually. Waiting times, ergonomic KPIs, and hidden efforts in repacks and travel. And of course, this problem is not exclusive for the field of logistics. It's also existent in the field of production and in the field of healthcare, where a lot of manual work is done. And we want to help the people who analyze these processes with help of sensors and beacons we distribute in the work environment and which are carried by the worker and which are loaded after each shift. And meanwhile, all the data which has been collected is uploaded to our platform and analyzed by a machine learning algorithm we developed and somehow translated into process KPIs and insights. And all these KPIs and figures the algorithm creates is presented in a dashboard for the user. So the lean managers or process engineers can analyze the efficiency and also the ergonomics of the work processes. This is how our equipment currently looks like. So it's robust. All the sensors are worn with help of sweatbands and belts. And this, workers can control the measurement with help of mobile devices and apps. And what is pretty good in terms of all the different processes currently available at the customer site is that we created this as a mobile solution. So you can pack everything in a flight case, ship it to every site you want to analyze a process, set everything up quickly, and then start uploading the data into our platform and start the analytics process. The data can be filtered and evaluated in different dimensions. We can generate heat maps, spaghetti diagrams, also generate standardized ergonomic evaluations, as well as the mean and process workloads and activities, which tools are used, and so on and so forth. So really many different ways to look at these data. And here I brought you a quick example. We analyzed a warehouse which was operated with forklifts and just looked into the way the orders were proceeded. So how they really were carried out compared to how it was planned to be. And we found annual saving potentials only in the past strategies and the way clearing processes are done of over 250,000 euros per year. And with help of this information, we help the customer to develop a better past strategy and to introduce a new communication solution here to go for these potential and raise it. And the project was quite a success, which made the customer happy and of course us as well. Enough for our technology. Now I want to tell you something about our business model. We started in October 2017 with 3 founders. We started to offer our technology as a consulting service. So not only software and hardware, but also our workforce and our process knowledge. And with help of these consulting projects, we developed the technology to a point where we could license it to customers so they can carry out their own measurements and analytics. This business was started in May of last year. And from beginning of next year, we are also planning to offer scalable data services. You can imagine with this technology, you can create a really valuable data set. And yeah, we want to make use of this as well. Our current traction is pretty good. Our customer can be divided into 4 segments, ranging from OEMs over consulting firms up to logistics service providers. And currently we have 33 industrial customers, which carried out 38 consulting projects so far. And we are really happy that we also have 13 licenses sold, which creates recurring revenue for us. Yeah, here you can see all the achievements of our short history on one slide. All awards we have won and all business references we gained, which does not only make me happy, but the whole team behind MotionMiners. And on their behalf, I thank you very much for your attention and looking forward for your questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. Almost right in time. So let me start with the questions. Try to answer them fast as you only have 3 minutes to answer. First question, do you sell or lease the beacons?
We lease it.
Lease it. Is it uncomfortable for the ones that are wearing it?
When we test the devices, we wear it ourselves for a whole shift. So I can tell from my own experience, it's okay. It's not like you wear nothing, but it's no problem to carry it through a day. I would say you forget it after 1 or 2 hours that you really wear it. So once I forgot to turn them out and took them home with me.
Okay. How have you financed your startup so far?
From revenues, the consulting projects brought revenues from the first day, and from funding from public authorities. So we were a former research team from Fraunhofer, and we received an exist research transfer funding. But no investors yet, if this is the question behind.
Probably because it came from Martin, who's an investor. So maybe this will be your first round, maybe.
So we are bootstrapping at the moment.
Can you also see how heavy the things are that they are lifting?
It depends. Usually when we look into these data, and it must be accurate in terms of an ergonomics evaluation, for instance, we take the information from the databases, because it's not so accurate that you can say, okay, it was 2 or 3 kilos. So from a sensoric perspective, the weights are not measured at the moment.
So a question from my side, are you planning to use any other sensors to increase, like actually see feeling how heavy the weight is?
Yeah, currently we in our development team, we are evaluating different new sensor types. Funny point is, especially for this for this purpose, and also to gain more insights about the physical strain, so the pulse, blood oxygen, information like this as well.
I see. So we have 2 questions left. One you already answered, I see. The other one, how's the reaction of the employees? Do they feel observed?
It's a technology which must be explained well. We have a lot of info material, and also in many different languages. And yeah, it's a question of a good communication. And if this is done, the acceptance is pretty high, because you can imagine then the ergonomics questions gain values for the workers. So this is, of course, a driver which motivates them if it's well explained.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We are now coming to the next pitch, which is from oculavis. I think that they are going to pitch live.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. We can hear you, yes.
Perfectly.
So you're on, you have 5 minutes.
How do I share my screen? Just a second. Okay, found it. Okay, then I am ready.
Perfect, starts now.
Do you see my screen? Yes? Okay, perfect. Then thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Martin from oculavis. Just a short background on us. So we founded 2016 as a Fraunhofer spin-off, as well as MotionMiners. And we've grown now to 45 employees, are also bootstrapped, so no external investors yet. Won a lot of awards, like the German Founders Award, also the EIT Digital Challenge we won last year in November, and we focus on one major solution. So this all started back in the years in the institute, where I took that picture personally. So I saw those former ex-colleagues trying to fix a problem remotely with the manufacturer of that machine. So you see they're doing wild gestures, having 2 smartphones in their hands. So what this picture actually shows, that there is actually a missing process when it comes to technical problems with machinery and equipment, which of course causes downtimes, travel costs, travel time, and yeah, a lot of trouble. And that's in the end our motivation, what we are trying to solve this problem. This picture here shows our vision that we are working towards. So the idea that operators of machinery and equipment can get a remote expert help here with our solution, but that they are also getting enabled to fix problems on their own by having augmented reality overlays or step-by-step instructions to tell them how to fix problems, not only to fix problems, but also for scheduled maintenance operations, assembly tasks, and things like this. Our solution is modular. It consists of 3 modules. So on the one hand side, this remote expert tool where you can have a remote video call with augmented reality overlays, of course, with special features made for the industry. You can document everything in service cases and also create workflows out of this knowledge that you create there. And that's the next module, so to provide a systematic step-by-step guidance for a worker, but also to have a way of getting structured feedback to, for example, pre-qualify service requests. And in the next step, this can be also provided as an augmented reality overview so in the end, this is just another way of representing information in 3D on top of the real machinery and equipment. Of course, there's an underlying management of users, roles and permission, and asset relationship management, which I will shortly explain in my next slide. And of course, you can also connect to our API to integrate with existing IT infrastructure. So this asset relationship management, that's actually quite a simple idea. The question, how is someone actually getting in touch with the right experts and the right information? So nowadays you typically dial a hotline to ask for remote expertise. And our idea is to physically connect assets with our solution by creating such a simple QR code, which could also be an NFC tag. And someone who's having a problem or needs information about this machine, he would just scan it. You would see the right experts, and you would also be able to access the service history of that asset and play those augmented realities contents from there and have everything connected to the physical asset that this information is all about. What are the benefits? Of course, that's quite obvious. You can save travel time and travel costs. Of course, just right now with the Corona situation, of course, that is an important factor because you cannot really travel for fixing problems on site. But more importantly, you can increase the overall effectiveness of your machinery and equipment in the field. And as a machine manufacturer, you can also create a new digital business model on top of our solution. So instead of only selling physical assets, you can provide a digital service with our solution. And that's why we also offer the whole solution as a white labeled application. So to enable machine manufacturers to provide a digital business model with our solution. Yeah, customers, we're currently having 150 customers at the moment. So it's completely different kinds of customers. So big companies like Siemens, Bosch, ABB, small machining manufacturers that you might not know. Also in intralogistics, the company Gebhardt, for example, is one customer who is using it for service and maintenance of their installed machinery in the field. Yeah, that was it as a short overview. Thank you very much. And now I'm looking forward for your questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So we have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Do you use AI to detect problems?
No. Simple answer is no. Of course, that is on our long-term roadmap to use AI to classify knowledge that is getting gathered in our application. So to maybe automatically analyze screenshots that are getting stored in our application to redetect failure contexts and things like this. This is in our long-term roadmap and definitely an interesting scenario. So that's the answer. Yeah.
Okay, and then wouldn't it be also a good business model to offer the diagnostic services directly to your customers?
How do I need to? So if you think of that we would also do the service for machinery and equipment, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. I think not that this would be a good business model because we provide the software to enable machining companies to provide that remote services and augmented reality services, but we don't want to start being a consulting company that actually does that service. So I think that's not a good scaling option, I think.
Do you also provide the hardware, or do our company needs to have it already?
No, we can also provide hardware, especially those smart glasses that you can use. You don't need to use it. So our software is device agnostic. Those glasses are always a little bit in the focus in terms of marketing. But we have a lot of customers who are using it, but we also have a lot of customers who decided not to use those glasses. If you want to use glasses, we also sell it to our customers, not because we're earning a lot of money with it, but just because the companies want to have it out of one hand. And if you're using tablets and smartphones, that's hardware that typically exists already. Yeah.
Okay. What do your customers like about your solution right now? What are the topics you have to work on next 1 to 2 years?
Of course, what they like is that they can have a complete new way of providing service. So the old school way is sending technicians on site, and with that, you're much more flexible. You can react very fast to connect to a customer that is somewhere located in the world, and that is, of course, what they like. And to have a new way of providing services, also to enable them to create a digital business model out of this. And in the long term, it's like I said, these AI topics are very interesting to redetect or to automatically detect failure states of machinery and equipment. That's a good integration point with predictive maintenance systems, of course. This is something we won't develop on our own, but to connect with other solutions in the market to provide a smart service chain, I would call it. So from the point of view from a machine manufacturer, to have predictive maintenance as a way to detect error states, future error states of machinery, and then trigger our solution to provide the right knowledge to the operators anywhere in the world.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That was the time is up. Thank you for joining. You also have some more questions which we will share, and you can answer them after.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Next startup is Heuremo.
Yep.
And I think you are also presenting live.
Yep, correct.
Yes,
right. Do you see my screen?
Yes,
does it work?
I can see the screen.
Okay, great. Then, hello everybody, also from my side. And thanks for having me. My name is Sven, COO and one of 3 co-founders at Heuremo. And our mission at Heuremo is to free the world from unnecessary traffic laws. Because these unnecessary traffic laws are in charge for the emissions of 8 million tons of carbon dioxide every year, just in Germany. Well, to compare it, because 8 million tons of an invincible gas is quite hard to imagine, to be honest. And the whole inner German flight traffic of 2018 emitted 2.5 million tons of carbon dioxide. So the savings potential in road traffic is more than 3 times higher. And the reason, therefore, is insufficient mobility management. To raise this potential, we have developed 2 products to reshape mobility management. And the first product is called FreightPilot. FreightPilot is the first transport management system in the market which offers a multi-objective optimization. That means FreightPilot calculates the highest utilization within the truck and parallel the best tours. That allows freight forwarders to reduce the amount of needed trucks by more than 20%, like here at our customer Bund Logistics. FreightPilot is live in operation, and we have seen the effect in the department, as you can see here, with only 15 trucks, that FreightPilot will save our customers 200,000 euros each year. And that's not all. Due to the fully automation of the dispatching process, FreightPilot enables more time for the dispatchers to work on more value-adding tasks like customer care, sales, and to evaluate on our analysis on promising new regions and customers. Our second product is named CarePlan. And we are quite confident about CarePlan, to be honest, because we name it the probably best software for ambulant healthcare services. Because the reason, therefore, is that CarePlan is the first software product that matches the optimization of FreightPilot with the requirements of modern ambulant healthcare service. One of the largest ambulant healthcare services, Die Pflege from MERS, became aware of Heuremo and our adding value that we are doing for the freight sector. At Die Pflege, the 10 senior nurses, so really rare and highly qualified employees, they spent 60% of their working time for scheduling and rescheduling the tour planning for their about 100 colleagues. And to cut a long story short, highly qualified employees are bound to administrative work. Yeah, right. And especially in this sector, there we already have a shortage of 150,000 nursing staff, according to the Institute of German Economy in Cologne. Together, Die Pflege and we, Heuremo, brought together all the ingredients to give ambulance healthcare services the software they deserve. As CarePlan reduces the manual effort for the tour planning up to 90% and enables nursing staff to spend more time at the patient and not within their cars. CarePlan combines the automation of dispatching with modern software technologies for a freight price of starting at 450 euros per month. Maybe you're wondering why we at Heuremo, why we are approaching these two sectors that seem so different on a first sight. And to be honest, the reason therefore is that if you take a more detailed look at these sectors, you quickly realize that both industries face similar problems and challenges. In the road transport sector, they are missing 60,000 truck drivers, and I already mentioned it in the ambulance healthcare service sector. There are already 150,000 professionals missing. And both sectors are insufficient digitized, and as a result of it, the daily work prevents from more productive times. And the two markets are also very similarly structured on the supplier side, characterized by legacy software. Because in both sectors are multiple small suppliers out there. The market seems really like stuck in the 90s. They all offer unstandardized products, and everybody with a very high regional reference. Our goal at Heuremo is to crush these markets and become the leader in technology-driven mobility management. With our products, we are able to add economically, so some monetary value on the one hand, and also reach ecological targets and add social values on the other hand. That's what we mean with the mobility management of the future. And we only reach this target with this extraordinary team. The journey of Heuremo is a huge team effort, a team that is highly committed and managed to finance themselves by their own earned revenue until now. Right now, we feel ready to scale up our software as a service products within their markets and to aim, therefore, a seed invest in Q3 this year. And yeah, that's it from my side. Thanks for your time. My name is Sven, and I'm proud to be co-founder at Heuremo. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. You finished it right in time. So I will start asking the question. First question is, I didn't really understand your service. Who uses your logistics software?
Yep. It is, we are facing the middle-sized, small, medium-sized freight forwarders with a truck fleet of between 20 up to 100 trucks roundabout. And they are using it to optimize their own fleet.
I see. Next question, is your software something like a transport management system?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you, how is your business model? How do you earn money?
Yep. I mentioned it in half sentences, I think. So good question. We offer these services as a software as a service model based on the amount of trucks that are dispatched within of Freight Pilot or the amount of users that are working with CarePlan.
Okay. How is the Corona crisis? How does the Corona crisis affect your business, and how you are dealing with this?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Also for us, because on the one side there are customers that are coming up right now and really speed up to implement our products. Because they see that there's a huge change, not only due to coronavirus, but also due to the automation and digitization. And now they want to use this time to be ready for the future. On the other side, there are also some customers. They are having really deep trouble right now. This is the answer for Freight Pilot and for Care Plan. This is a very stable business. So actually, there we don't see any changes due to coronavirus.
Perfect. Can your service be integrated in third-party transport management systems?
Yeah, absolutely, sure. So we have a completely full open REST API for other services, and this also can be other transport management systems. Yeah.
Perfect. And is it more? Is it better to use it for short or long distance or in cities?
The biggest advantage we reach in regional or national truck traffic. So like routes from, let's say, Duisburg to cities like Dortmund, Bielefeld, Hanover, but also Berlin, like these distances that can be reached in around about 1 day. There we see the biggest advantage for Freight Pilot, because I think, okay, that makes sense. The amount of possible dispatching plans is much higher, and there you have much more options than on long distances like Malaga, Hamburg, for example.
Thank you very much. Time is over. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We're now coming to the next startup, but I just read that SoftRide Technologies has some issues with their internet connection. So I don't know if they're here. Otherwise, we need to continue with Sirum. I hope they are already available.
Hi, Marc. I'm here. If you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
So perfect.
Are you ready? You will start with, you also have a presentation, right?
Yeah, cool. Sure. I do the live pitch. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then it's on you.
Perfect. So nice to talk to everybody of you. And in the next 5 minutes, I would like to tell you how ants support the digitalization of the transport and logistics industry. And to answer this question, for sure, first of all, we need to learn something about ants. And there's one fact that really fascinated me about ants, and it's that there are actually 10,000 trillion ants on Earth with the same weight as all human together. So you can definitely say that ants are totally underestimated, and important to know about ants is that they are super cooperative. So they live together in one big ant mountain. Some take care about the babies, some take care about the food, but together they have like a big cooperation, and this is like their USP. And later on, I will tell you how we take this measurement to develop software. And next, I would like to tell you about the structure in the transport industry. And what is really important about the structure there is if you see that the market is totally fragmented. So you can say that around 90% of all transport companies in Germany, they are super small companies between 1 and 20 or 1 and 30 trucks. And you can imagine all the providers of digital solutions, they focus on the medium-sized or large-sized enterprises. Now you can say, okay, why should this matter to me? It's exactly because of that and because of international supply chains. So you have international and complex supply chains, and probably the big factories, the warehouses, they are digitized. But everywhere here where you have the small trucks that I talked about, you always have this digital bottlenecks. And this is what happens in the end. You still have to work with a lot of paper, and you can't really automate the processes in the complete value chain and supply chain. And we asked ourselves, what is the reason why so many transport companies are still not digitized in Germany? And we found 2 reasons mainly. The first reason is that when companies even want to start to digitize, they start perhaps with the order management, they go for the dispatching and for the financing tool. But afterwards, they notice, hey, it's just like a small percentage of my complete value chain. And then you really start to build up isolated solution with the CRM, the personal management, fleet and driver management, and you need to connect it with interfaces. And this makes it super difficult to manage your master data, and more or less reportings are more or less inaccurate or not possible, because you need to extract the data from so many isolated solutions. And one fact that is also not really considered nowadays is the external communication with the customers, the subcontractors, and the receivers. And then another reason is why so many customers or why so many transport companies are not digitized yet is this fact. So you might know this picture from your own company. So small companies, they can't really afford to build up their own service and their big IT infrastructure. And most of the current solutions, they're based on service. And this is something that the medium-sized companies, they can't really afford and they shouldn't afford. And this is why we started to develop a solution where we can solve these problems. So our solution, there are more or less two big factors that are important for our solution. We developed our completely own transport management system, but we integrated it into an established ERP system. So you can manage within one fully integrated solution, you can manage your completely operative and your internal processes. So dispatching, invoicing, CRM, fleet and driver management within one solution. And this is what we call the TME, the Transport Management ERP approach. And the other big important fact is that our solution is completely web-based. So all our customers, they don't need to build up their own in-house infrastructure. They can use just our solution from everywhere in the world, just with the internet browser. And we also, in addition, develop our own driver app that we can have a completely external communication between our drivers, the subcontractors, and the receivers of the goods. And usually or often when we show this solution on pitching events, we are asked, hey, how many people are developing on this super complex solution where you manage like a TMS, a warehouse management system, and the ERP system. And this is exactly the point where the ant magic comes into power, because we develop open source. And what does it mean to us? So our ambition is that we develop on a core, like on the basic ERP system, together with 1,000 companies worldwide. Because the idea is something like a personal management or a CRM is needed not only by a transport company, but also in a manufacturing company or in a bank or insurance company. And we develop the core features together with 1,000 companies. And then we take these features and customize it to the needs of logistic and transport companies. And this is why we, with currently 11 people, can provide a very, very complex and large solution. And just to give you some ideas, this is just from the last meeting.
I need to interrupt you because the 5 minutes are unfortunately over, as you have a last sentence. But only one.
It's totally fine. So I'm happy to answer all your questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Sirum, a very well-known startup this year in Hamburg. I'm glad that you are also joining the pitch session today. First question. I didn't really understand the comparison to the ants.
If this didn't get clear, I'm sorry. So usually what we compare the ants like with our partners from the ERP community. So we developed with 1,000 companies together, and we built one Ant Mountain together with this 1,000 other companies. So we are developing cooperative on a core solution. And this is what we take out in the end, and then we customize this solution for our customers. But the big advantage is really that we develop software in a cooperative way, in the same way like ants live together, that some take care about one module, some take care about the other module, but everybody can profit from the complete ecosystem.
Okay. Do you need to integrate it into your IT infrastructure, or is it a cloud-based solution?
It's a cloud-based solution. So we host it at Hetzner. So it's one of the most known providers in Europe.
What if I already have an ERP system?
Then we only provide the component of the TMS or the warehouse management system. So it's a completely modular system. So we even have some customers who have a transport management system already, and we only provide the CRM or the fleet and personal management system. So it's really completely modular how you manage it together.
Okay. Please explain how the connection between ERP system and transport management system makes companies more competitive.
The big advantage is, for example, that you can manage your personal data or your fleet management data. So you within one tool, you know exactly if you have like an unavailability of your trucks or of your drivers, you get the information in real time and in the same time in the dispatching tool. So you only need to manage the data within one module, and the information is spread within the complete system.
Okay. You offer an all-in-one system, but are you also able to serve the common interfaces, so offer individual solutions? A lot of German logistics companies have to deal with heritage systems.
So for some or for many customers, we still do the customization. So for sure, we try to build a standard solution because it's easier to scale. But if there's an individual need, we still do the customizations and individual developments.
Perfect. And who are your competitors?
The competitors are companies like Soloplan, Winchpad. So the very well-known TMS providers in Germany or Europe.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Right in time for your time. Thank you again that you have also been part of this.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We are now coming to the next company, which is Chainstep. They will show a video, but they will also be here for the Q&A.
I'm Konstantin from Chainstep, a boutique blockchain consulting and R&D company. We share the video, or will and I'm very happy to present to you today CertiChain, our solution for process transparency and certification.
Perfect.
A big challenge in various industries is process transparency and certificates linked to real data to back up value propositions. We have selected 2 industries where we have insights and partners for co-creation of this solution. The first industry is the art industry, where we have seen that the provenance, traceability and storage monitoring are today data silos, and that state-of-the-art IT security technology is often not utilized. Also, data and user interfaces can improve the art owner or art collector experience. On the other hand, business processes of insurance companies today do often not rely on near real-time data. The other industry we have looked at is the apparel industry, where we have seen that the cotton supply chain for sustainable and organic cotton is not transparent, and certificates rely on probes. Also, certificate fraud is an issue for the trading and for the clothing companies. The solution in development is a certification and transparency service utilizing IoT and blockchain technology. We want to enable secure data acquisition and storage across various supply chain steps and break up the data silos. We achieve this through, on the one hand, blockchain technology, which ensures the immutability of data and enables digital identities for the various stakeholders. IoT devices will help with semi-automatic or automatic data acquisition, and interoperability of the solution and very simple user interfaces are key in our development. The benefits we want to deliver are the integrity of the underlying data used in certification or appraisal processes, the integration of different IoT devices and their secure connection to the blockchain, which will ensure trustworthy data. Also, data bridging the different silos allows for new forms of analytics. For example, to generate process transparency for operational excellence or to detect fraud in a more sophisticated way. Also, this data will help to back up product USPs and to create new customer experiences. We have selected the art as well as the apparel market for sustainable cotton because they are growing and they are presenting 2 ends of the spectrum, one with very high quantities and the other with comparably low. The global art market has reached 67.4 billion in 2018 and was growing by 6%. The number of galleries is increasing at a rapid rate. More and more collectors are entering the field, and this leads to an increasing demand for fine art storage. And companies like Ovo Art or Crozier Fine Arts are growing very fast. They have doubled their storage capacity since 2017. For sustainable cotton, the market is growing by 10%, and sustainable cotton has a market share of 19%. Large clothing companies like C&A, H&M, Chibo, Inditex are the biggest purchasers of sustainable cotton. So sustainable cotton is very relevant in the clothing industry, but also smaller fashion startups like Armed Angels make sustainable cotton one of their core USPs. So for them, certification, trustworthy data is even more important. To attack the process transparency and certification issue, we develop a solution building on blockchain and on IoT. We will have a baseline function for certification and traceability services, simple HMIs, and interoperability with other solution and legacy systems. Easy customization for business processes is important, but we will start with our 2 current use cases. The development we do happens in our internal R&D department and is backed through 3 funding initiatives. The first project is the DB Chain project, which is funded by the German BMBF, the German Federal Ministry for Education and Research, where we build a digital twin for data used in lifecycle assessment and eco-design. And with our art supply chain case, we have reached the stage 2 in 2 pitching competitions. The first is from the BMWI, which is the Innovationsprogramm für Geschäftsmodelle und Pionierlösungen, and the other is an Horizon 2020 SME funding program called Blockchains. So this was it from the solution. Thank you very much. I would be very happy to receive your critical feedback to find test users or partners for further development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now I should be on again. Thank you very much for the presentation. Let me see if we have some questions. First question: is your solution already live?
No, unfortunately not. We have started the art supply chain case with a small company from Cologne, but we are in the beginning of developing the real use case. So we have a baseline technology stack, which we have developed for other projects, but the customization for these specific cases is in the process right now.
Do you think this can also be used in the logistics industry?
Well, to a certain extent, of course, because the case of the cotton supply chain, of course, has a lot of logistics components. Of course, it is also about the probes which are taken on the field and analyzed in the laboratories. But there are of course also supply chain or logistics optimization steps, the storage capacity as well as the storage conditions. So it certainly has elements which are interesting for logistics.
Thank you. Next question. How do you make sure that the data input is correct? So how do you make sure that the inputter is not lying?
Well, of course, if you have someone with a bad intention, the best system will fail. But we will make it as hard as possible to lie. First of all, through automatic sensing through IoT devices, which are connected to the blockchain through a secure element. Of course, for example, if you have a temperature sensor, you could still hold a lighter in front of the temperature sensor. That you cannot prevent. But these kind of events you can identify through statistical methods. For example, if you have an olive oil plant in Italy, which is producing twice the volume per tree, and you have the data to compare, you will identify these people who try to fool the system. And the point is that we can take as much uncertainty out of the process as possible.
Thank you. Is it a product or is it a consulting offer?
It will be a product.
Next question. How long does it take to implement?
Well, especially for the art supply chain, our idea is that is that it has to be a plug-and-play solution. So the sensors and the applications provided must work with minimal interaction with other systems. So our intention is, or what we have piloted, for example, with IoT tracking devices, you just send them to the client and they can use them immediately. They connect automatically to the system and so on. So it is ideally a plug-and-play solution.
Perfect. So how long does it take to implement? Last question.
Between 10 minutes and a couple of weeks. For example, if you want to connect scales, or if you want to connect a laboratory, of course, with IoT devices, that takes a bit more effort in integration.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed the session. We are now coming to Waku Robotics, which is hopefully not our last startup, but soft dry technology has still not logged on, I think. So we will now have Waku Robotics. I think they will have a presentation. Am I correct? Are they already here?
Yes, we are here, but we sent a video.
Okay, then it's a video.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hello, my name is Leo Kessner and I'm co-founder and chief product officer at Waku Robotics. And now I'm happy to talk about what we are doing.
Waku is the warehouse automation provider, and we are helping companies to automate manufacturing and warehouses. Why warehouse automation? We observe that more and more the customer expectations are outpacing current warehouse technology. We all remember the start of the e-commerce boom in 2005, and it's still rising. We see more and more elderly people ordering online, and also in times of crisis like today, we see how people rely on e-commerce. Then 2010, the omni-channel distribution, and also trends from today, like the same-day delivery, where Amazon is market leader. We see there are a lot of challenges, but we are missing proper response to the customer demands. And that's why companies have to adopt mobile robots to meet these challenges. These challenges are taking place in different areas of our warehouses and manufacturing lines, and mobile robots have flexible, scalable, and also cost-efficient answers for all of those areas. With Waku Robotics, we provide fully flexible and highly efficient warehouses. Our mission is to guide you towards a personless warehouse. But how are we doing it? We are facilitating the robot automation journey online and digital. First step is finding and selecting the right robot. With our independent robot comparison platform, Lots of Bots, we provide you a free tool to compare robots. Furthermore, with our new tool, the Solution Designer, we have a data-driven process analytics where we understand your specific needs and automatically suggest and recommend perfect robot solutions. In the next step, we are assisting onboarding the different types of robots, and we help you to seamlessly integrate and afterwards orchestrate a supplier-independent robotic fleet. Not only in one warehouse, but also over several warehouses of your company. And later on, we understand how important flexible capacity is. We allow you to shift capacities by renting out or selling your robots, so that you can optimize for your baseline needs and also for peaks. That's how we facilitate the whole robotic automation journey, online and digital, with our Waku tools. With our product line, we drastically simplify the whole process. And we already see that with Waku you can be up to 12 times faster with getting robots in your warehouse. Now I want to focus on our newest product, the Solution Designer. Just create a new project on the Solution Designer and choose the type of use case you want to automate. Enter some basic data about How long is the route, or how big is the area? What is the load you are transporting? How is your throughput? And what is your economically data we can make a business case against? We are feeding this basic data in our algorithm and make the first automatic robot recommendation for you, just to give you an idea of the potential of savings and improvements. If you continue, you can enrich the use case with lots of detailed data about the different waypoints, the floor, and more requirements we need to make a concrete and detailed offer for you. You can upload assets and share all the data with all project participants. That's the power of having one tool to design your solution, manage your procurement, and streamline communication. Our intelligent algorithm is based on an independent pool of robots which we constantly grow. Currently we have over 70 robots with detailed technical specs and comparable on our platform. Find, test, buy or rent, run and optimize robots. Start your robotic experience now at wakurobotics.com. That's robots easy and flexible at your hand.
That's all about Waku Robotics. Thanks for listening. We help companies to automate manufacturing and warehouses.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Interesting business model. There are some questions. What if I only need a robot for 2 days? Do you offer this?
Very good question, and definitely a goal we want to achieve, so that we can allow renting our robots for some short days. We will make it flexible and we will make it more cost efficient maybe if it's too short for renting, but that's of course our goal to allow it. We didn't do it yet, but it should be the goal.
Do you operate the robots?
We have, with operation you mean probably integrating and getting it to run in the warehouse, and therefore we're using partners. We either take the manufacturer of the robot itself who is integrating it, or some integration partners, which you also can normally work with for installing robots.
Okay. I understand that you don't lend your own robots, but only bring together supply and demand. Who bears the costs of the robots if they break or are not delivered properly?
Definitely a good question. Most of it can be handled by insurances, but for other parts, we need to build up a good system yet. So we are very new to this market, to be honest.
Perfect. How do you plan to scale your business? What is the potential customer paying to you? Seems to be a one-time shot.
Good question. So we see that robotics is not a one-time shot because you have so many different use cases in your warehouse. There's transportation, commissioning, then the external dependencies and customer needs are changing. So you're probably rearranging your warehouse, and therefore you always need to optimize your fleet and again, right? So we don't think that you buy one robot today and then it lives for 100 years in your warehouse.
Perfect. I will combine some questions now. So what is your pricing model? How do you earn money? And what is your business model?
Definitely good questions. So we are currently on a commission base. So as soon as someone buys or rents a robot, then Waku earns commission on that. And our commission is very high as we make such a detailed analysis and such a good lead qualification for our suppliers. Later on in the future, as we also offer this capacity shifting, we can also think of a monthly fee, but that's more of part of our vision.
I see. And what is the price range?
That really depends. As I said, we have 70 robots, some of them starting at 10K and the others are 100 or 200K. So I assume as the question is pointing to the robots, it's very broad range. But for most of the use cases, we can give already some good savings if you start with renting or buying small robots. Hopefully that answered the question.
Perfect. Last and fast answer. Automation is not possible, useful in all logistics areas. Do you have a specific industry focus?
Yeah, as we as startup want to focus, we are currently, a lot of clients are doing warehousing, e-commerce, that's what we start with. But we see robots appearing for all different type of use cases, and we also want to look into different niches later on.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think if SoftRide Technologies has not managed to get their internet up and running, I think we are done with the startup session, with the pitches. I liked it a lot. I thank everyone taking your time, being here today, taking the opportunity to pitch. I hope also the audience liked the startup pitches. I think so. We received a lot of questions. So I will now give the microphone, so to say, to Christine. She will be leading the panel discussion, and now it goes to Christine. I think she's muted. Du bist.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, thank you very much, Marc, to hand over to me. I'm now starting the panel discussion. I would be very happy, Marc, if you could support me and switch on the participants of the panel discussion, because I can't see them yet. That would be very kind. We have a very great team of no. Okay, here's Marc in the same window as me. Ah, here we are. Now I switched on. Okay, I'm very happy to welcome Simone Rohde, the leader ecosystem and platform consumer industries at IBM.
Hi, Christine.
Hi, Simone. And I'm very happy to see Harald Kolbe already with us. He's the head of digital innovation and digital transformation at Lufthansa Technik Logistics Services. And there's also Olaf Rathgeb. Olaf, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Could you please switch on your camera, perhaps? I can't see you. He's grouped.
You should see me. So
you all see Olaf? No. Marc, could you support us? Okay, you see Olaf. That's yeah. Okay. So he's group Chief Technology Officer at Meyer Sohn. And last but not least, Martin Schwarz, Investment Manager at Rhenus Venture Capital. Very warm welcome to all of you.
hi there.
A short explanation of the session. I will ask some questions to you, but also the panel participants have questions to you, so I hope we have a rich discussion. And you could ask questions to the startups yourself. So I'm having a quick start. Oh, Olaf, now I see you. Nice to see you. I'm having a quick start. Simone, what was the startup you found particularly interesting and why?
I think there are some which I found very interesting, and I think we had that discussion before, Christine, that I'm always looking at business model scalability and whether that is a person-based or technical-based solution. The ones that there were two Fraunhofer spin-offs, I think, which really interested me from a technical point of view. They are very innovative. To be honest, those were the ones caught my attraction.
Do you mean Hall FM and MotionMiners, probably?
Oculavis and MotionMiners, right?
Oh, great. Okay. And same question to you, Harald. Was there a startup you were especially interested in, and why?
Yes,
very interesting to see all the startups, but my 3 favorite startups are HFM. I didn't know them, so it was very interesting, and that's why I asked to get in touch with them. And the second one is MotionMiners. I already stay in touch with Sasha from MotionMiners. I love this approach of the hidden KPIs in operations. For example, waiting times or ergonomic issues. And the third one is Waku Systems. And therefore, I also already stay in touch with Victor and Leo from Waku Robotics. And we already discuss use cases for Lufthansa Technik Logistik services.
So you knew the startup Waku before?
Yes,
that's
right.
Very good. So you probably voted for them today or yesterday.
Yes, I did.
And Olaf, which startup or which startups did you find interesting and why?
So unfortunately, I couldn't see and couldn't follow the videos. But I have been in contact with Chainstep already. So I understand their business model and their offering. But obviously not this specific which has been presented today. So Chainstep is very interesting. And as a service provider, are, let's say, focusing rather on processes and what our colleagues are actually doing with the systems, and less we are in contact with hardware, with assets. I found the MotionMiners very, very interesting. And quite impressive, and I'm wondering, and maybe that's this can be a discussion later on, whether this analytics can be used for system interactions as well. So it's obviously beacon based and based on assets, but maybe this can be enhanced on other working steps in integrated processes as well. And I also liked. Sorry?
No, I just wanted to ask you, because you at Friedrich Meyer Sohn have this platform called Cruise Control, and this sounds to me as if that could be a part of you making supply chains transparent and visible.
Exactly. So, but many of the working steps are, let's say, within software and are represented by tasks. A certain actor has to fulfill. So, and this might be an interesting discussion how this concept, the MotionMiners concept, can be extended with that kind of information. And I also liked HFM. This might be a good basis, a good platform also to take use of for internal trainings. And but at the end of the day, all the startups did quite a good job, and it's very interesting to see how creative in many aspects and many areas those startups are.
Thank you very much. And Martin, is there a startup or perhaps many startups you would like to take a closer look at?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the lovely event, first of all, so far, and the interesting pitches. So 10 points from Schwerin. I really liked HFM and MotionMiners, but I don't really want to highlight a startup right now, because what really impressed me as a early stage investor was the ability of a lot of the startups that pitched here to bootstrap or finance their business development by project revenues. And this would really interest me, how their view is on the venture capital market right now, if they are in contact with some of my colleagues, and how they want to develop their future development with bootstrapping or project revenues, or are they thinking about financing their future development with venture capital?
Yeah, I see a representative of Transmetrics in the video chat. Perhaps you could answer the question.
So the question of, could you highlight the question?
Yeah. do you want to develop your business in the future with your own cash flow, or do you think you need external capital from venture capital or banks or something like that to foster your development and your projects?
Sure. Right now, we are not actively looking for the investors because we have enough cash. Recently, we received a grant from the European Commission. But in the future, of course, it depends how the business will be growing. We have two scenarios. One, to grow naturally, if you will manage to capture actively the market share in the coming year. And if not, we will look for Series B investment. But let's be open to conversations now, because if anything, now is the right time to talk to investors when we don't need the money.
Yeah, good to you.
Is there another question from the panelists to, for example, Sven from Heuremo? Sven, would you like to answer the question concerning the investments as well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sorry. For us, seems quite similar. Right now, we are facing, as I mentioned in the pitch, we are targeting VC seed invest in Q3, Q4 this year. Actually, we are very lucky to be in a very comfortable situation right now for a startup. We take a look at the market, how the situation develops right now. From a product or technical perspective, right now we are ready to scale up, and we want to grow as fast as possible, for sure. If it takes longer to gain VC invest, this also would fit for us. We will grow, but not on such a high level.
Okay.
Yeah, I see right now a representative of Cogniac in the video chat. Hi, nice to see you. Do the participants have any questions concerning the visual inspection you are offering?
Is that a question to me or the others?
Asking the participants of the panel, or okay. Then let me ask you. You work with artificial intelligence. Which models do you use to ensure that your results are correct?
So we use multiple open source models. We have IP around our supervisory human in the loop interface. Our founder actually came from Ruckus Wireless, which was the third provider of Wi-Fi behind Cisco and HP. So he has a long history in utilizing artificial intelligence to find the best path to provide any solution for the customers. So he has brought over a lot of patents from his previous work and saw a real need for vision. So he brought that over, and so that's why our solution is very unique with that limited subset of images that you need to label to get those model performances very high. We've actually already gone through our Series A. We've raised over $10 million for our solution, and we've been deployed for over 4 years. So I don't know if we're really a startup anymore. We like to say we're a mature startup, but we're really excited for the opportunities that have been presented to us so far.
So you probably are not affected by the Corona crisis, or are there any effects on you?
So essential business is a lot of the manufacturing plants. Of course, we've seen a lot of that slow down, but they are going back into work now in the US, at least. In Mexico, they're essential business. We have deployed additional use cases in personal protective equipment. So to ensure customer and employee safety, right, and make sure that people are wearing their masks and gloves and doing social distancing right, we are tapping into their network cameras if they do have those. And we have applications already detecting people with missing masks. So this can be with your security cameras or just network cameras. So that's one application where we can still support all types of customers going back to work. But yes, we still are getting a lot of data regardless of this pandemic. But I hope you guys are all staying home and staying safe.
Yeah. Simone, thank you very much. Simone, you're a proven expert on platform topics. If you listen to that, are there European platforms that can stand up to the strong competition from the US or from China?
It depends on what platforms you are talking about. Of course, there are some from the US which are overwhelmingly strong. Looking at supply chain or logistics topics as we had them today, I think that there is not such a big one which is bringing us back from any potential success. I think that what is important at the moment is to prepare for the new normal. And I think that platform initiatives are all over the place at the moment. I know that we have, i.e., one growing platform in logistics, just now opening up for ISVs. That is one of the reasons why I'm very carefully listening to the startups to see whether there are potential partners to open up in the ISV system of existing blockchains, for instance. So I don't want to talk about Amazon. Everybody's doing that as a platform sample. I think it's boring now. So in logistics, I think we have freedom in finding the right startups, bringing them together from a solution perspective, or see whether they were able to plan and develop their own platform for the business.
Yeah. And I just listened that there are 3 questions in the chat. So please, Marc, could you read one of them?
Yes, so we have actually a question for each of the experts. I start with Olaf. You're invested into the NLA. Are these startups successful, and what is your goal with this?
I think there's no general answer to that, but of course, some of them are pretty successful. And so at a company, as an enterprise, but also in respect to certain pilots we have conducted and we made with them. Yeah, and the idea of the NLA is also to provide context between the startups and incumbents companies who are relevant in that area, and so that both sides can gain advantages out of it. For the startups, contacts and also, let's say, a first proof of concept and some power to get things implemented. And for the companies like ours, we get access to ideas and technology and the spirit, which sometimes is very overwhelming, which is coming from the startups. Does this answer the question?
I guess as it was from the audience, I cannot re-ask them. So I will just move over to the next question, which is for Harald Kolbe. As your industry is suffering a lot, will you work with startups in the future?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and as you all know, the aviation industry is very much affected by the corona crisis right now. Yeah, that's true. But we already prepare for the restart right now, and there is a future for our business, I'm very sure, and I don't see a reason to not to collaborate with startups. We already collaborate with startups, and we need innovative solutions more than ever when we have the restart. So the answer is absolutely yes.
Okay. So the next question from the audience is for Simone. What is your view on platform economy and how this will evolve after the Corona crisis?
I think it is one of the strongest movements we have, for it is the disruption of the business model as we have it of today. So working together as companies or outsource processes or find common solutions which you use together, which are too expensive to do on your own, is something which will be stronger and stronger. I think it will not go away over COVID, yeah, but it might change from the topics. If you see that people might outsource business processes together to get it done more efficiently, like we see already in insurance companies or in banking. So I think that will be something where also manufacturing or logistics companies will look stronger into it and more intense and preparing the new normal.
Okay, thank you. And the last question for Genius Venture. I saw that Genius Venture is a state fund. Will you benefit from the current 2 billion euros available for private investors? I guess it means for the matching fund.
Yeah. The matching fund has two pillars. The first pillar is for private venture capital funds. So we concentrate on the second pillar, which means that you will have a program for federal states, which means for us the Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania state. We are in good talks with our ministries and the politics, but I cannot say at the moment how much we will have in additional money to invest or how it will be invested. But right now, for the moment, we don't need it because we have money on our own and we are ready to invest in further startups right now. So it will be a benefit if we have sufficient and additional money, but we are ready to invest on our own right now.
Okay, thank you. There were all the questions from the audience, so I can give back to Christine.
Yeah. Harald, one question to you. You already have worked very successfully with startups at Lufthansa, Technik, Logistic Services. And please tell us briefly about your experience with, for example, ProGlove.
Yes, ProGlove. That's a success story, the collaboration with ProGlove, I would say. And the reason, therefore, is that it matches perfectly. So the solution matches perfectly to a problem in our operations. So, and that's the most important thing from my point of view, that startups bring us solutions for the pains, for the problems of corporates or companies. So the collaboration with ProGlove started in 2018, I think, and now we use the gloves, the smart gloves of ProGlove at all our sites already in Germany and also at some sites in the US. So it's a great collaboration and we do a lot of stuff together. Also some developments on new technologies, for example, the glove with a little display right now, the Marc display, which was launched in March this year. And yeah, so we have this perfect match, and that's, from my point of view, the most important thing.
Yeah, Olaf, you told me the same. You have this platform called Cruise Control, and when you're scouting startups, you're looking for a perfect match. And how can you make sure this match? Do you have talks? Do you plan pilots immediately? What is your procedure?
Of course, we have a deep understanding where we see areas which needs to be improved. And one part is to get status information from transport stages and status information from the goods and containers which are being delivered. And whenever we see a solution that can, let's say, be a brick for the whole solution, which can improve the amount of insights and data we have to show our customers the current status of their transportation, then I'm interested. And usually, and this is, I think, what Harald also mentioned, if a startup provides a solution which can be integrated, then there's still a lot of work which has to be done to get it integrated into a corporate system landscape. But nevertheless, it's worth to do it. And after a phase of integrating such a solution into our systems, then we usually start with a pilot, and if the results are convincing, then we roll it out to a bigger scale.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's a good way forward. So in the beginning, we get lots of insights on both sides. Maybe the startup understands, okay, there's a certain part still missing, and the feature backlog of such a solution can be jointly defined, and for both sides, it's always important to buy into that solution. And after, let's say, the first or second phase, to make a decision to further buy on into this, or sometimes also you have to stop it because you think, okay, for certain reasons, it doesn't make sense to stick on this.
Yeah, thank you very much for the insights in your process. I noticed that a few minutes ago, a representative of MotionMiners joined us. So one question to him, data protection is a very big issue, and how do you deal with this topic at MotionMiners?
Hello, thanks for this question. The question of data protection is especially important due to the new regulation raised by the European Union, who governs all data privacy issues since that. And as we started this whole technology development as a research project, we were very eager to design it in a way where it meets all the privacy regulations. So from the very first drawing, if you want so, we designed it in a way that we don't collect personal related data. And due to that, we could really prove this by special lawyer who checked our process in terms of the regulations of the European Union. And I can tell that we meet all requirements so that these laws are not applicable, which for me shows that they are not person-related data. Of course, this also means that you have to avoid some data to be collected. So don't collect everything you technically can.
Yeah, you mentioned that you, for example, are interested in the pulse or the heartbeat of one of the workers. So is that something you are able to collect?
It often depends in this question what kind of data is really used and stored. And of course, if you would try to identify a person from its heartbeats, you need to teach a system especially to do that. Our approach is vice versa. Yeah, we want to find things which are similar over all persons.
Okay.
So we would just try to reduce this to a KPI which does not identify the person, but shows us the physical strain the process currently rises, just by comparing, for instance, the heart rate of a certain process steps.
Okay, so I understand it the right way. You're looking for certain patterns and you try to neutralize the data or cut it into pieces. Okay, are there any questions left to the participants or to the startups? No, then I have to say, unfortunately, our time is over right now. And I thank very, very much the participants of the question and answer panel that you all took part. It was very interesting. Thank you very much for your time and for all your efforts you did. It was a great honor to be your host. And I say goodbye. In Hamburg, we say tschüss. So I hand over to Marc. And bye-bye from my side.
Tschüss.
Thank you very much.
Danke.
Yes, and also I would like to thank all of you. It was a great pleasure to have you with us today. We enjoyed the event very much. I hope this is also applicable for you. I would like to thank the panel. I would like to also thank the 10 startups, although there were only 9, but that were pitching today. Everyone that joined now the Q&A session. I hope that you enjoyed the format as it was. If you have any suggestions, as we want to continue and do more events like this, let us know. And especially I want to thank Edora Okpako and Vasily Milosevic, which have built this in the past few weeks. And for the time that we could spend on this, I think it was really great also from a technical perspective. And now we can, as startups usually do, starting with an MVP and then evolving from there, making it better and better every day. This is what we can do. Yeah, we hope to see you next time on one of our next events. And remember, innovation goes digital, so stay tuned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
From Team Waku. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.